Later.
1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7. Is it going to be lucky number for us? I don't know. Maybe we should have Katie roll. How lucky are we going to be?
Yeah.
Oh,
Please.
okay. What do you want me? Oh, do you want to do a luck roll?
Okay, hold on. I got to show you the roll. Go for it.
Okay, let's see how tonight's gonna go.
And we now know that these
Oh,
pre-show
no.
rolls are canon.
Hey, look, it's
All
not
right.
that much of a failure. It's like a little, a baby failure.
67 versus 55 could be worse.
Could be worse.
Could be
We have
better.
seen worse.
But could be worse.
But before we get into that, there's of course some things, and we have an announcement today, which is fun. So first and foremost, we would like to thank our sponsor today. Thank you, Roll20, for sponsoring today's episode. If you're ever curious about how we do our rolls or our character sheets or any of those things, or if you watch some of our other shows, you've seen us do like crazy lighting and integration that like auto changes our HP and wildness. That's all through Roll20, which is really cool. We enjoy it. Thank you. And you can play all kinds of things. It doesn't have to just be dice games. We also have merch. Check out our merch at designbyhumans.com/shop/roll4it. And if you would like a Chip Cult shirt, let us know in the comments. Like, put a little Chip Cult, just say Chip Cult in your
just
comment.
say the Chip Cult into the void.
Yeah, and if you're watching on Twitch, spam Chip Cult, and maybe we'll think about it. We're definitely something that we want. I think we all feel like we want a Chip Cult shirt because wouldn't it be fun? All right. Beyond that, we also have an announcement. I feel like I need a little drum roll. I don't have music on, so it's been feeling weird. So I'm gonna. Oh, that's the wrong drum roll.
Oh.
Here we go. That's the drum roll that I'm looking for. And the announcement is we have a new show. We have a one-shot that's coming to you all Sunday, October 1st, 7 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. CT, 10 a.m. ET. It is A Message from Dave, and we will be playing the new Caper Cyberpunk that is on Kickstarter right now. If you do ! Kickstarter, it will have all the details in there, and we'll probably be spamming it in chat all day. So definitely go click that link, support it. There's all kinds of new rewards and things like that you can help with the Kickstarter. And of course, we love a good Nerdburger Craig Games game. We've always have a ton of fun with them. And of course, joining us are some of the people on this. I will be there. Katie's going to be there. Jeremy's going to be there. And Miss Magitech will be returning. So we are going to be having a ton of good times, especially with Craig running the show for us. We are excited to see what adventure he takes us on. And the characters everyone has picked are like awesome. I'm really excited for you all to meet them. And of course, we get a little crazy with our one-shots. So come watch us be cyberpunk, super powered, cyber teched up. And Craig actually was like going through our characters, and he said, you guys have the most superpowered group ever. Like, normally people don't take everything, but you guys went ham. And I was like, oh, do you want one of us to be like an exceptional or whatever? What are they called?
Yeah, they're called
Mundane.
exceptionals.
Okay.
Yep.
Or do you want us to like change things up? And he was like, no, I like this. This will be cool. It'll show off the mechanics. So come watch us show off the mechanics or fail miserably. I think we might be the bad guys after looking at all of our characters, but we're supposed to be the good guys, I think, taking care of the megacorps that are corrupting the world. I don't know. We'll find out. It's going to be fun, though. Come tune in. And we will also like to give you a little trigger warning. We are going to be doing a spoopy show here. There may be things that you don't enjoy, and that is okay. If you need to step away here on Project Morana, we understand. Do so at your own leisure. If you're watching this on YouTube, skip forward past stuff if that helps you, whatever it may be. We totally understand. But for those of you who like it, we hope that you enjoy. And of course, we want to thank our supporter today. Thank you, Jackson Decay, for supporting today's episode. Actually, I might have the wrong supporter. 1 second. I might have foobarred that. I did. I was like, usually I always remember this. Thunder Cabbage. I was like, I had it ready. And I still said the wrong name. Thunder Cabbage, thank you for supporting today's episode. get some roll love in chat for Thunder Cabbage. And of course, if you want to become a supporter like Thunder Cabbage, you can head on over to our Patreon. And if you are a legend tier or above, you get to support an episode. And not only do you support an episode, you get to play in a private GM game. This month, I am GMing our Halloween RPG, which is new. It's based on Made RPG and will be played in the same fantasy world as our Santa RPG campaign, which, if you've watched, it's pretty chaotic. It's like Christmas, an anime Christmas. And I assure you, Halloween is going to be the same. It's going to be a Halloween anime Halloween. So come tune in.
What's the candy cane equivalent in the Halloween
You'll
version?
have to come tune in and find out.
Well, okay, I'll have to watch.
But it is going to be a good time and a lot of fun. And poor Bentham's character has stumbled into the Halloween RPG land from Santa RPG land, and it is going to be fun to see what happens. And of course, we also have all kinds of other goodies up on our Patreon. Like we're going to have a Project Morana map coming soon that I'm sure Kelly is going to want to update as we explore and find more things. And also, if you missed it, Shadows of Sybil is back. They're back with the rest of their final season, which has been really exciting. I got to be on there as Emmy. I think I will be one more episode as well this coming up week. If they don't murder me, who knows? But yeah, it is going to be super duper fun. And of course, wrapping up that series, I know it's going to be really emotional. So come be emotional with us and rouse yourself to cry, because I don't think vampires actually really cry. They just hold it in.
They cry
to their
blood.
souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like me.
But we have all kinds of goodies over on our Patreon, so go check that out, and lots of different tiers for different people. We also have a Twitch sub here where you get access to VODs in advance as well as emotes. And if you have an Amazon Prime, you can use that to get a sub, which is cool. Then you support us instead of supporting Jeff Bezos. Whatever you want to do, you decide. And of course, you can head on over to YouTube and become a YouTube member and get access to some of those emotes. And whether you're a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon supporter, you get access to our private Discord, where we always have some good chats and people ask questions and we try to answer them. So if you want to get in touch with the cast, that is the easiest way. We usually do respond if you message us through there. And of course, there's lots of non-monetary ways to support us. We know that not everyone can support us in a monetary way, and that is fine, but there's lots of free ways, like watching us here live on Twitch, or making clips while you're watching live on Twitch, because you can only do that when we're live, which is so infuriating. But we love using those clips, so your clip might get used on social. You can also watch us over on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, follow us on X, Facebook, like, share, retweet. Is it called a retweet now? What is it called when you repost? Okay, reshare. I don't know.
Stick it to the Musk.
Call it whatever you want. Words don't matter anymore.
I know. I don't know. And comment. So that is all the ways to support us. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kelly, because I'm ready. Spook me up, man.
Oh boy.
Turn me into a warlock. I'm ready.
A sexy devil pops out of the snowy ground next to you and offers you a pact. I'm not
take
playing
it.
Baldur's Gate. You are. All right.
Katie's like,
The date
yeah?
is
I saw that,
Thursday.
the whipping thing that you did, Katie. I was like, what?
We don't talk about that one.
Project Mizora.
The date is Thursday, January 5th, 2023. The time is 3:15 p.m. Marie, Laura, and Nate, who is sort of uncomfortable at this point, sit in the kind of now cramped Jeep of Dr. Samuel as he makes his way back down the street that he had just driven up to present all of you to the homes that local community members have offered for you to stay in during these tumultuous times. I have a question for Nate. Do you have your own hockey equipment, and have you brought it with you?
I think that I don't play hockey typically, but there are some nights after practice when I take to the ice. And I think I do still have, you know what? I think it's my college gear that I still have. Some of it barely fits.
Right.
Some of it is slightly, some of it is a little bit too big. Some of it's too small, but I still have gloves, still have a puck, still have a stick, still have skates, and some of the pads.
Toe to tip, that's hockey. Is this something that you normally keep in the back of your vehicle that maybe you brought along, not necessarily thinking you would play hockey during a funeral, but just that it's there?
Yeah, I think it's always in there, so I didn't intend to bring it, but it's just there.
Okay, so we'll say now that it is your hockey bag is in the back of the Jeep. It was, or on your knees right now, barely able to see through the window. The wind is still, as I mentioned earlier, very intense. Luckily, this Jeep is one of the thicker ones, so it's not rocking and swaying, but you can definitely feel the sort of pressure against the window as he drives. And as he makes his way back to the main street, he takes a right heading towards the mountains. And as you get closer to the mountains, even through the sort of blizzard that is forming, you start to see more of the resort town of Lake Morana. You had all learned talking to Liam that this place was originally meant to be a nice place for people to come, hang out by the lake, go skiing, or just hang out in the various chalets. And you start to see sort of the more relatively nice architecture along the waterfront. There are buildings that were clearly built for hotels and nicer resort stays along the water, but they seem like they've had better days. What was once clearly bright oranges and greens painted along the sides to almost give it this Italian waterfront vibe have sort of faded over time, and the raw wood underneath is now sort of permeating more. But nevertheless, you can see now more of the flavor of what Lake Morana was originally supposed to be. And as you continue down the main road, you can see people sort of weathering the storm only in the way that a lot of Northern Canadians are capable of doing, where it's more of an inconvenience than it is a
wearing shorts,
dramatic
and sandals.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you see a few of them with tiki drinks. No, it's just more the idea that this is how it is, and weathering the storm is just you still got to walk around and do your stuff, visit your friends. You see a few of them with thermoses sort of pressed up against their chest as they're nearly walking diagonally down the street.
I ask Samuel from the back seat here, is tourism still one of Morana's biggest income areas?
Oh, definitely not. I don't know if you've heard, but this weather is worse than it usually is, but Lake Morana used to have milder temperature, and it's been getting worse over the last few years. We're sort of...
So the chalets were more used for spring and summer vacations, not so much the winter time?
The mountain chalets were more for winter. You would go up there and rent one with your friends or whatever and hang out, and there's hot tubs up there. But these waterfront ones were definitely more for summer. And he starts to point to some of them, and he's like, I remember we had Celebrity, one of the Brad or something, the one from the fighting movie.
Brad
he
Pitt?
stayed in one of these. Yeah, that's the one. Good looking guy.
Brad Pitt came
Asshole,
here?
though.
What?
Yeah.
Why is he an asshole?
Oh, he's so rude. He doesn't tip when we go out.
You hang out with Brad Pitt?
Wouldn't call it hanging out, but we go to dinner every now and then.
Is he a fan of your books?
Isn't everyone?
How
Well,
frequently do you go out with Brad Pitt?
I'm regretting bringing this up. Just let's move on.
I mean, it kind of looks at you, Nate. And I didn't know she was a writer.
I was like, I've never finished one of her books.
And as he continues down the main road, making as much small talk, sort of giving his presentation as he can, you see the road sort of open up to an open area that you quickly realize is an outdoor rink that has sort of been snowed over right now and not used. There's a nice, almost like shop building next to it with kind of like an attached those round wood roofed things that I can't remember the word of right now. Sure, a yurt? No, the ones in the middle of fields. I keep wanting to say gondola. It sounds like gondola. No, never mind.
Gazebo?
I'm not helping. I'm gonna stop talking.
Gazebo, thank you.
Gazebo.
It's
I
sort of
got
an
you.
attached gazebo. It seems like a very nice, like, you would come and get like hot chocolate and watch your kids skate on the ice. But you can actually see that it's like boarded up and not used right now. But next to it, there's another building that almost seems like the facade has been built to look like a ski resort chalet exterior, but you can see that some of the windows are clearly fake. And it is about the size of a regular ski or a regular ice rink. And as he sort of drives up to it and finds a parking spot, you can see that there are a few cars here parked ready and waiting. And he looks over. Do you need help with that, Nate? My stuff's already inside.
Oh, no, don't worry, I got it.
All
But
right.
thanks.
I'll let the ladies out, and kind of like gets out of the Jeep and pulls the seat forward.
Thank you.
It's a lot of guac.
Do you want to try
Probably.
some?
You should.
Sure.
It'll be the best guac you ever tasted.
Let's get inside first, as he sort of like holds his hair down as the wind is like buffeting, and sort of leads you inside.
Nate immediately judges him for not immediately trying the guac.
Neither
Just
wind
silently.
nor rain nor snow should stop you from trying the guac.
As we head into the ice rink, Marie will loop arms with Laura.
I think you take Laura by surprise, but immediately just kind of accepts that warmth from you immediately. Like, just like, oh, okay, let's do this.
Nice. And as you walk arm in arm towards the front door, which again are sort of like, there are double doors, but they are again sort of made to look like a fancy ski resort that has, again, seen better days. And upon opening the door, you are almost immediately blasted with heat, as there are two heaters over the sides of the door, just sort of like shooting heat down on you. The rink itself is pretty small. It's about standard size, but it's basically the only main feature inside of this building. There are stadium seats around, but those sort of like independent ones that you can move around. The entrance has bathrooms off to the right and a very small, currently closed concession booth to the left side. And Nate or Samuel looks at you, Nate, and points towards the bathroom and says, "There's a door towards the change rooms if you want to follow me. Go ahead and find a seat if you want, ladies. I mean, unless do you want to play?"
I'm
I
good.
am not playing.
Oh, all right. I mean, we have a few women on the team. It's very casual. Like, the guys aren't.
It's not
they
a
don't get
feminism thing. It's just I don't like hockey. I like watching hockey.
Fair. All right.
They're sort of the cheerleaders. That's what they were in college.
Great. We've got a few in the stands, and you can see sort of like scattered, just like couple people sitting here and there, just huddled for warmth with their thermoses and whispering to themselves. All right, Nate, you can follow me.
Yep.
And as he leads you, He passes the bathrooms, and there are two
While
doors.
we're walking through, can I just ask, can I like size up the teams and just see like, all right, this is supposed to be casual, but like, what are we working with here?
You're not in the actual change room yet, but if you're
Oh,
following
so
him
nobody's come
enough,
out yet. Okay, cool. When we go
no.
in there. Yeah.
Once you get in, there's sort of just like a immediate split to like home and away, and he says we'd just use the home one. There's not enough people. And you see a few people. They're all sort of wearing they're putting on very piecemeal hockey gear. Some people have like name brand ones that are older. Some people have like those ones that you get from like a gymnasium that they maybe bought on wholesale. Some people have like Canucks jerseys and Oilers jerseys. Some people have like a ironic jersey that they got that says like FBI, female body inspector. Just like a varying selection of just people. But you can go ahead and you can.
I think Nate even lets out a tiny little looking at this, like inwardly, it's like, I got him. I got these fools.
You can give me a spot hidden just to sort of get a lay of the land.
All right, somebody's got like a machete that they're like hiding in one of the paths.
Oh my gosh. That's not a machete. That's, you know.
Is that a machete, or are you just happy to see me? So spot hidden, I got 76 versus 35. That is a failure.
You see an official one of those Mighty Ducks masks that when you wear it gives you powers. No,
I immediately decide I need to step up my game. I start stretching.
You need to roll magic though to use it. No, it's like most of the people here, like the age range is wild. Like there's middle-aged people who are like clearly not really in shape, and this is maybe the most active thing that they do. You see one younger kid that you maybe recognize. He's like fairly scrawny, and he has blonde hair that's sort of pulled into a ponytail, and he's got like a rock t-shirt on. And as you get a good look of him, you can see that his lower jaw is actually quite far inward. It looks like almost like half of the length just didn't grow out. As he's sort of like strapping up, you can see that he's putting on goalkeeper gear.
Do I recognize this person as a threat? Like as in like a threat on the ice?
You recognize seeing them from the town hall meeting. They were the one that was setting up the like audio equipment.
Okay. This is not like they don't have like an NHL player who came from this town.
Yeah, this is a total ringer. I mean, NHL maybe the video game. You do, however, once you sort of get in deeper, there's like a main pillar in the middle of the room that sort of separates the benches, and people are throwing their stuff into like cubbies along the wall. But as soon as you pass the pillar, you see behind it a near Goliath of a man, large to the point that he's wearing one of those shirts that are just a second layer of skin, that is like tucked into his hockey shorts that he clearly has bought recently. You can see him like strapping on gear that is basically NHL levels of professional. And even just seeing him from this distance, you can tell that he is built about as tall as you, maybe a bit wider in physique.
I'd like to basically forget Samuel is here and walk directly over to this guy and just say, hey, and hold up my hand and say, Nate.
He looks over and like you can tell that momentary like sizing you up, and then just immediately like reaches out an arm for like the mid forearm shake, and he says, "Oh, sup, bro? Oliver, you're the guy that got my clothes, right?"
No, yeah, the legendary Oliver. I'm still holding his forearm, by the way. I'm gripping his forearm.
Oh yeah, he is too. And you can feel like it's like holding onto a rock between your hands.
I flex. I flex my arm as hard as I can.
Give me. I'm gonna have you. Are you? Okay, I have a question. No, I don't have a question. Go ahead and roll me strength.
All right. Here we go. That is an extreme success. 2 versus 70.
You grip.
Did I break his forearm?
No, but you can feel him like start to flex too, and it's like both of you are meaty, and you can see this like almost immediate like show of respect on his face, and he says, "All right, yeah, I'm glad the right man got my clothes. I mean, it's the only time I would ever let a dude in my pants, but you know, if they're gonna go to someone, it'd be you."
Yeah.
All right,
glad to be able to climb into your pants.
All right, well, grab some wood and sort of like slaps the bench next to him.
Yeah, I wait until he releases and then I release.
Yeah, he like, it's not that he's intimidated by you, but you've like spoken his language almost immediately.
I'd like to start stretching, doing like, I'm stretching in a way that I have not stretched in probably close to 30 years.
Right.
And I am full NHL like preparation, like, and I start to work up like a full lather as like so I start warming up, doing push-ups, stuff that I have not done in decades.
Your body hurts almost immediately doing this, but in that way that you know that you've done the right thing, and you can see a few people like watch you, and like a couple of them almost start like mimicking what you're doing, realizing that that's probably a good idea. But yeah, you're feeling that age for sure.
I'd like to start grunting loudly as well as I do this.
The blonde kid almost like chuckles a bit as he starts putting on like his pads and his like shoulder pads and stuff.
I just look at him.
He seems nonplussed other than chuckling a little bit. If you would like to read more into this, feel free to roll a psychology.
Who do I need to crush? This is a side of Nate that almost never comes out. This is a hard success, 22 versus 50. I'm in predator mode right now.
The dice are telling
it.
a story. It's like, yes.
Nate is in his, like, this is his arena, quite literally. I will give you a few things then with a hard success. First off, this blonde kid is not impressed by you. If anything, your bravado is almost like, he seems like he's got that attitude of like, you're proving him right about whatever he was thinking. Oliver's fucking into it. Like, you start doing these huge stretches and he's like right there with you. Samuel is flustered and tries to avert his gaze a bit, and sort of like scurries behind the pillar to separate you from his gaze. A few of the other people that you don't recognize, you're almost like bolstering them a little bit. This fun, casual game amongst the various people of the town is like sort of, they're like getting into it, and the dourness of the weather outside is slowly being forgotten.
I would like to like mentally make a note of everyone who is not impressed and who is not on my team, so that I will know who to, in this casual game, casually destroy.
All right. There is a group of there's two femme presenting people, one of whom sort of looks more like alt style, like has shorter hair with like an undercut. Clearly is like it's like that mom alt though, where it's like shorter hair that's sort of feathered a bit, and more like draping gray clothes. Does not seem impressed. But the person sitting next to them, who is like sort of similar fashion, but like more feminine, is like more into it, it seems. And they seem to be competing as to whether or not you're cool. But
I have one
most
request.
Yeah?
Well, first I have to ask. This is a question for Marie and Laura.
Ooh.
When you were cheerleading back in the day, did you ever have, like, because I know you weren't cheerleading, but in the stand, that was what you. Did you ever have pom poms?
Oh, for sure.
Is it possible that as I reach into my bag, pulling out more gear than I have in probably 20 years, that I see those pom poms crushed and buried in this bag?
For sure. Why
That's
not?
a luck roll right there.
Yeah,
That's
roll me
true.
a
Look at
roll me a
what
luck.
happened with the dice.
Okay.
Come on!
All
I
right,
want my
50-50
pom poms.
Oh, failure! 66 versus 50.
Maybe they're
It's so
there, they're
close.
just crushed.
I have a question for Maggie.
Oh.
What is something of Andy's that has made its way into Nate's bag from years ago?
I love the idea that one of like their knee guards is in there.
So you push past like all of the gear that you normally wear, Nate, down to the stuff that you haven't worn in a while, and it's like it's almost like rock bedded now, where it's as flat as it possibly can get without breaking. Some of it's like so old that you gotta like kind of uncrust it a little bit just from like the moisture and age. And as you do, you hear a thud as you separate some of the equipment, and a much smaller knee guard hits the bench, which you would recognize.
All of my bravado, I think, sort of goes away as I stare at this, and I had forgotten that I had it. And I think anyone who is like staring at Nate would maybe see, like, he's staring very intently at this thing. Probably his expression kind of difficult to read. And I think I want to pick this up, and as I'm putting on the rest of my pads, I'd like to, because it's too small for me to wear on my knee, I'd like to slide it under like some of my pads up top, so that I have it like under my gear, just sort of in a way that doesn't like draw attention to itself, but sort of
you can
slide it
definitely
in
do
there.
that for sure.
Yeah.
It looks a little weird. It looks like one of your boobs is much larger than the other one, but it is in place. And you see the two people that were sort of deciding if you were okay just like start whispering to each other a little bit, and the room sort of picks up on your vibe as Samuel walks up to you, now fully in their gear, and he sort of like pats you on the back and says, "Do you want to be red or blue?"
I have another question for Margaret. Which color did Andy prefer, red or blue?
Ooh. I feel like Andy liked red. Yeah.
Then I'm going to with a very serious face. Before it was kind of like, yeah, bravado. Now it's just like a dead serious face. I look up and I say, red.
All right. And he pulls out of just like this milk crate a red what are those things called? Man, it's been so long since I've been in school.
Jersey?
Those high school like
Like a pin.
mesh. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're
mesh
talking
The
tops.
mesh
about.
tank tops?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mesh tank top things.
Hands you a red one. It has like elastic on the side, so if you put it on, it is about as tight as the elastic will
Are they
get,
called
but
pennies?
does
Penny
fit.
shirts?
It's probably a colloquial, like a local thing. I've never heard pennies before.
I
That's
feel
what
like I have
called
too.
it.
I feel like I have heard that too. I'll look it up.
But Samuel will take red as well, and Oliver will grab Blue and sort of like give you a cheeky smile, Nate, as Dr. Samuel walks around and starts giving out other colors. He sort of announces to the room. He says, "All right, well, I was sort of hoping there'd be more of a turnout. So we'll probably do 3v3, one person off." And kind of looks at you, Nate, and he says, "It's not, the big leagues, but we all have a good time with it." Sort of like comes up to you and puts his head like near the side of yours and says, "Are you all right, man?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just excited to get back out on the ice.
All right. Well, hopefully it's all there.
Do you think from this
it never
distance? Oh, sorry.
It's all you.
Do you think from this distance, Laura and I could see that Nate is upset? Or
no, the change room is a different room.
Oh, he's not even in here yet. Okay,
No.
Never mind.
This is all happening in the change room.
He's like naked, stretching, putting clothes on.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's fine. I changed in front of everybody 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And that, like, you do know, like, the co-ed setup is people seem very chill with each other. It's a town of 250 people. They don't seem to.
Everyone has seen each other naked.
Yeah, everyone's the yearly orgies really settle people.
Ooh.
What of that? It's that kind of town.
How many of my side jokes are true or false? You decide. While all of that is happening, Laura and Marie, you sort of were left to your own devices at the entrance of this ring, and there's no like separating doors between the like bathroom and concession stand area and the rest of the ring. It just sort of opens up, and you see, like, as I said, a few people clustered amongst the steel chairs. What do you do?
You are a much better friend than Brad.
Well, I still have a lot of questions about it. Like, I really do want to know how often you two see each other.
Oh, I don't know. Once a blue moon, once every few months.
You hang out with Brad Pitt once every few months, just casually. That's just wild to me. Is he as handsome in person as he is in film?
I'd say yes. Very, very rugged, debonair looks about him when he's not overly tired from all the work.
I think I'm going to have to process this. Who else do you know? Who else do you hang out with once in a blue moon?
Oh, it's tacky to discuss this, darling.
You brought Brad up. I will say that.
Bring Brad up. Samuel brought Brad up.
Yeah, but you didn't have to say, "Oh, I just casually have dinner with Brad."
I'm trying to say you're a better friend than Brad.
Thank you. I will. I still can't. I don't know if I can be better than Brad Pitt. And I like to think that we still have our arms locked and
Yeah.
we're walking in. Well, I haven't been in a rink in a long time. I forgot how it feels in here.
The heat sort of gets to you until you're in the stands, I find. I don't know, it always makes me feel jittery.
Yeah, once you pass the threshold next to the actual skating rink, it's almost like an immediate chill. It's like those heaters are only really working near the entrance. And you can see like a couple people just like chatting to each other, huddled with their gloves on, drinking coffee from a thermos, just talking. Seems fairly cozy in here, though it doesn't seem like a lot of the town actually decided that this was the way they wanted to spend their afternoon.
Oh, where do you want to sit? Do you want to sit up close, which I know it's closer to the action, or do you want to talk to some of these people?
She like scrunches up her face.
No, on the talking to people?
Yes, but I mean, sure, we're supposed to be making friends. Why don't we?
Here, and I'm gonna take us. I want to glance around. I want to take inventory of who is sitting in this crowd.
All right, give me a spot hidden.
Oh, okay. A failure, a 78 versus 45.
You see just various people, none of whom you recognize, just sort of like chatting and talking to each other. A lot of them wearing like puffy blue and gray jackets. And then you hear a voice. Oh, hey, you two, you made it. And you see sitting in the stands is Nova, sort of in her like very wealthy looking like cashmere turtleneck and puffy blue vest, just sort of waving at the two of you from the stands.
Oh, hi. And I wave and lean over to Marie. Should we go over?
Sure. Only her a little bit.
I like to think that I could, like, Laura couldn't see anything because of the mold in her eyes and wearing sunglasses, so everything was just not. So I'm gonna walk over towards Nova and take a seat next to them.
Yeah. And I'll do the same.
Step up.
Well,
she
next
like
to Laura.
she like immediately goes in for like the side hug as you sit down. Like very familiar. Do you guys need coffee? I brought some, and sort of holds out like a large thermos.
I take, like, I'm analyzing, are there like extra cups, or are we all supposed to, like, is it like, does it seem like we share sips out of the,
like, lifts up like a very fancy looking like travel bag, and brings out like two almost like plastic ceramic like camping mugs.
Wow. Sure. Why not?
I always
How
come
could
prepared.
I say no?
You don't know who's gonna sit down next to you as she's like pouring the coffee.
Not just a lovely host in your home, but a lovely host at the ice rink.
Babe, I'm a lovely host everywhere.
All right, give me the details. What do we need to know about this? How competitive does it get? Is there betting?
She kind of like chuckles at the last one. She's like, well, I mean, there hasn't been in the past, but if you want to get wild, we could. But no, it's super casual. A lot of the like there's kids, there's like old timers, like a lot of people just come and it's to have fun. This place used to be pretty big when like, you know, Lake Morana was running well, but no, it's all just for fun now. Sometimes people come and skate here. It's pretty much open to the public. Yeah, I mean, how much would you want to bet?
Oh, I'd give $5 that Nate's gonna crush everyone.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. If Ollie is on Nate's team, then it might, maybe. But
Now we're getting the tea. Ollie's also a good player.
Oh, I mean, he's like a wall. I mean, you saw his room. He might, you know, depending on how aggressive Nate is, I don't want to say that he's a bit like alpha aggro, but things could get pretty rough. But I'll put $5 on Ollie.
Ooh.
All right. You get anything on this action, Laura?
Well, yeah, I gotta bet on Nate. I mean, you haven't seen Nate play yet. That's all I'll say.
All right, I'm down.
The puck's not getting past him.
She sort of like pulls out another mug and puts it on the seat in front of you, and then pulls out $5 and puts it in.
Okay, and then I reach into my wallet and put the American money in there, like my $5 bill just sticking out conspicuously.
That's what is that? $5.27 or something?
Oh boy,
Ever so
more than
slightly
that.
stronger.
$6.
I forgot to get the right change coming
That's
up.
fine. I mean, most of the people here don't even pay for anything anymore.
And I use my Monopoly money of a blue $5 bill.
She kind of looks at you like weirdly.
Not really Monopoly money.
Aren't you? Anyways.
Wait, people don't pay for stuff here? Like, are you guys on like an Oregon Trail bartering system?
More like, I mean, I don't want to say like socialist because, you know, ew. But, you know, people, it's always rough here. So if people like need anything or like can't afford stuff, like we got them. We look out.
That's nice. It's kind of more simple.
I mean, it's, it can get complicated. It's not all. I mean, listen, I could throw some tea about some people that owe some people things, but I'm not here to gossip. I'm here to watch a bunch of burly people play some hockey.
What do you do? Do you mind me asking, Nova, what you do for work?
I mean, you practically got it back at my place. I'm kind of like an influencer, like social media star. You've probably seen me on Instagram and just been like, you probably know my stuff and just haven't seen my face yet.
Oh, what's your name on Instagram?
It's my name, and sort of like she like instinctively opens her phone and like clicks Instagram, and you can see the like the loading, and recognize the immediate panic that you yourself have been feeling the last few days. Well, it's Nova Hogan if you look it up later. Also, sorry to if there's an actual Nova Hogan on Instagram and I'm doxing you. This is a made-up character
Time
that I
to
have made. No. But she even without you asking, she opens up her phone app and starts like swiping through, and you can see the house that she had just walked you through, and like perfectly staged lit shots, and just dozens upon dozens of very similar takes of parts of her house.
So since the Instagram didn't quite load, I couldn't see how many followers Nova had.
And you see that she has neither a signal nor Wi-Fi here.
If you don't mind me asking, I mean, I do social media for my stuff a bit too. Like, how big is your following? Like, how has it grown over the last few years?
I got like 200K, I think.
That's really good.
I had to throw in some, it's grown pretty big over the pandemic. People are indoors and need some inspiration for their home.
Good for you.
But anyways, if you need any tips or any info about the town, let me know.
Can I tell if Nova's not fully saying something?
Roll a psychology.
I really should have put more in psychology.
It's like when you make a Vampire the Masquerade character. Wits and awareness all the time.
Oh, failure. 67 versus 10.
She talks quickly and frequently. It is hard to read any intention behind most of the things that she's saying.
Well, we're not staying here a long time. You got any piping hot tea you could share with us, as the kids say, about the town? Anything we need to do before we go?
Well, give me categories or a person, or I can just start. And she like looks around. She's like, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. What do you want?
More about. So you said Ollie lives with you?
Yeah, he's my roommate. Kind of, as I said, a jock bro, alpha guy. But yeah, he's sweet.
How did you two meet?
He lived here for a while, and my sister and my parents lived here, and then I needed to move here, but my parents didn't want me to move in, so Ollie had a whole bunch of space. He was living in that big old house, and I just came in and fixed the whole thing up.
Oh wow! So like it was Ollie's place, and then you moved in and like made it what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie's place is in like a rat finds an empty cardboard box. You can say that it's the rat's place, but it's not until you get that rat and make a nice little home for it. That's when it's really got a place.
Is Ollie a good hockey player? Like really good?
I mean, he's strong. It's tough to get past him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be on the opposite end of his hockey. Well, I wouldn't want to play hockey against him.
Oh, I don't know why. Can you tell me anything about like Tilly? Because Tilly was so nice to keep us at
Yeah, she's a deer. Real unfortunate what happened with Daniel, but fuck him. But
yeah,
she
she talked about Daniel. Did you know Daniel?
we all did, and honestly, like, wherever he is, we're all better off. But she recovered. She got full ownership of the inn, and all those fucking stupid, gaudy modifications that he wanted to do to the place. Good riddance. And I hope that we get someone in here to tear down the fucking front of that place real quick, because I hate looking at it.
I noticed that it was different than the rest of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Daniel wanted to go all corporate monopoly, fucking Denny's on that place, and it looks awful. And then he got sick, and then they stopped, and now it looks just terrible.
What about Liam? How's he been doing?
He's the I don't know. I don't really hang out with him. He's with the like
He
weirdos.
passed out yesterday, or earlier this morning.
Yeah, because he's been taking care of his dad for like months now. Well, before he died. But I don't know. He's kind of one of those weird kids. Does magic and shit like that.
Does magic?
Yeah, they say it's boring here, so they get into like the Wiccan, like, Instagram witch bullshit. I'm not a huge. He's kind of weird, and if he recovers and you see him on the street, maybe take another route.
Well, we were friends with Benjamin in college.
Oh, yeah. I was really sorry to hear what happened to him.
What? Well, and I like look at Marie, kind of like, I don't know if I should say this, and then I lean into Nova. Liam hasn't really told us what happened to his father.
As you say that, you hear terrible, just tinny speakers start playing like pump up music, and kind of like Nova gets almost like distracted for a moment and looks out to the rink, and you can see the goalkeepers sort of skate out and take their places as the other players sort of start coming in, and she sort of starts gazing at the hockey rink, almost forgetting your question, and you can see a couple people just meandering out, and as I said, like just piecemeal hockey equipment, and then a incredibly large man in what looks like professional equipment, and she says, "There's Ollie. So if you want to take your money back now, you still got a bit of time."
Well, here's
Where
the
I
thing.
stand.
Followed by Nate. How does it feel, Nate, to be on the ice again?
I think Nate's mind, at some point, there was like a moment where it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, it's gonna be fun, all right, back in my element. I think with the discovery of that pad, his mind isn't even really here. It is, I think, on the last game that he got to play with Andy at college, as they were both going onto the ice. I think he's hearing the intro music and the announcer and the crowd going crazy.
Hey!
Yeah, as he walks out and he hears them saying Andy's name, he hears them saying his name, and it's like this sense of like, I gotta play for us right now.
I have a point. So there is no announcer, there is nobody announcing, but does Nate imagine people announcing him?
That's what I'm saying.
Past?
Yeah, he's hearing the announcer that they had at
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. Like that's what he's hearing. That's where his mind is right now. He hears like a roar of a crowd. He's in like an arena right now, and that's where his mind is at. He's only like even as he looks at all these people, he's still thinking like, I have to show up and show out like it's one of those. Like it's that game. I have to do this kind of for Andy to an extent, and for me and what we used to be.
The sound of the skates on the ice is so pleasant. And you see Samuel like come out again with another just like crate and just dumps like a few pucks on the ice and sort of like chucks it back into the home game bench and just starts passing out pucks to people so they can start taking shots. Are you gonna warm up with some shots on net?
Yeah, I'd like to look at my squad, because obviously hockey is not an individual sport. I'd like to look at my squad, kind of size them up, and actually, as I'm warming up, I help them warm up and give them pointers so I can see who I'd like to have play what. Because I have just become the coach of this team.
Coach. Yep.
Yeah. No, they may not know it yet, but I'm coaching this team.
So you have the like scrawny blonde kid as your goalkeeper, Dr. Samuel, and one of the women that was sort of like the one that was sort of judging you a bit is on your team. So there is 4 of you, and then on the other team is Oliver, the other woman, and then 2 other people that you don't recognize. So what is the Samuel kind of like shrugs at you and he says, listen, coach, put us wherever you want. There's gonna be 3 on, so probably, forward, whatever you want.
Yeah. Other than Oliver, it doesn't look like anybody could stand up against me, right? Just in terms of size.
Not just from looking them up.
Okay. As they're on the ice, do any of them move like they could? Like does Ollie move really well on the ice?
He doesn't seem like he seems like a sprinter. He's not very maneuvering, but he does, like, when he sprints with the puck, he goes pretty hard. The woman is more dexterous, but sort of, especially with her pads on, is like more built. Seems to be like maybe a defense or forward or something. Something that will get in front of people. Yeah. Everybody else just seems to be here for some afternoon fun.
Yeah, as we're warming up on goal, I'm going to start skating past each person, just watching and sort of telling them like which position they're going to be playing. I tell them like, I start giving them, like, I'm sizing up the other team and deciding strategies and how to deal with each of them based on who I have. I'd like to be like, when he looks like a sprinter, I'm basically going to arrange things so that I'm on the ice when Ollie's on the ice. The rest of the time, when Ollie goes off, that's when I'll take my breaks. Otherwise, I'm coming on. I'm telling people Ollie, he can't maneuver. So if he's going to try and stop you, maneuver around him. Try and zigzag. He's a predator. They can't deal with prey that zigs. He can only go straight. So I'm describing routes and patterns and like ways to deal with everybody. I'm trying to be like, don't be selfish. Don't be afraid to pass. We would do this together. It's our job to make. And I point at Scrawny Blonde's name, or Scrawny Blonde. I'm like, it's our job to make their job as easy as possible. And I'd like to get everybody's names, because I know Dr. Sam, but I don't know Scrawny Blonde, and I don't know Judgy Femme. What are their names?
So you have Dr. Samuel, you have Olivia Tremblay, and Walt.
Olivia Tremblay, no relation to Jacob, and Walt. Okay, Dr. Samuel, Walt, and Olivia Tremblay. Then I'm gonna call Olivia Tremblay OT. Dr. Sam is Doc, and Walt is just. I'm gonna call. He's Mr. White. That's Scrawny Blonde is Mr. White. And so I give them all nicknames, and I'm running through very intense strategies, and I want to do it in such a way that's like not like I'm getting in your face, but like matter of fact, like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, this, and that, and I start describing the other team's strengths and weaknesses just from observing them, and say like what our strengths and weaknesses are and how we can best utilize them.
Give me a persuade.
Okay. I wish there was an advantage mechanic, because I would ask for that. Because I'm a big man who skates real well.
There is I found out something. So go ahead and roll.
Okay. 91 versus 40.
I don't think. Well.
Oh God.
I'm gonna let it ride. There are bonuses that you can do, but there's no way you're getting from 94 to 40. I will say that they are incredibly receptive. Sam is like almost a gate, like his mouth is just open the entire time, and he's like, all right, and he's like just casually taking shots.
And then I put my hand underneath his chin, and he's like, keep that closed. You don't want to get your jaw broken.
Just immediately blushes. Olivia still judges you, and like, but seems to be receptive. Like it's more like, all right, yeah, fine, you're the professional, whatever.
Yeah.
You notice that Walt doesn't speak. He's very like receptive and like nods and kind of like replies to you and gives you like thumbs up and stuff, but doesn't seem to be verbal. The other team is not as organized as you, and you can see that they sort of are just there. They're not even butting heads. It's just 4 individual people on the ice. And
I would like to start warming up in terms of like skating with like practicing my stops, like fast breaks and abrupt stops and turns, partly just to get my skates under me a bit more, and also partly to make the other team go like, oh no.
All right.
Like show that I'm very good at this.
Then roll me either a dexterity or an intimidate.
Okay, let me see. What is my dexterity? My dexterity is 65. What is my intimidate? 55. I'll go 65. I'll go dexterity. Let's see how this goes. That is 59 versus 65. A success.
There is no visually apparent change, but I will keep that in mind. And while all of this is going on, Nova sort of turns back to you, like half eyes still on the rink, Laura, and says, sorry, what did you ask about Ben?
Ben, how did he pass?
I don't know. He was sick or something. He used to come into town probably 3-4 times a week, but got less and less. And then Liam left, and Mara said that, I don't know, they hadn't seen him in a while. And then he came back down. He was like, oh, my dad's sick. Sam, I need you. Went up there. It was just a whole thing. And then,
but like Sam went up to help take care of Ben?
Yeah. Drove up, was there for a while, kept checking up on him and stuff, and I don't know, it just got worse.
Well, like, y'all are so close here. I assumed everybody would kind of know each other's business, being a small town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of us still like our secrets and sort of like, shh.
Oh.
Some of us still like finding out those secrets, but, we're close.
Is it kind of like one of those TV shows where like everybody's in everybody else's business, even if you don't want them to be?
I mean, if you're not boring, there's people like the Bills, and sort of like points off across the rink. And you see these 2 men that almost immediately you recognize as the 2 men in Tilly's that were just drinking late into the night. They mostly keep to themselves, but I know all their business.
Oh, wow. So do you
tell?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know our business?
I may know a few things.
What do you know about me?
I know that you run like a record thing for musicians. I know that you were really into like nature and stuff during school. Ben talked mostly about college, and it's kind of like, all right, get over it. It's fucking 20 years later. I don't know. He seemed kind of like, she kind of like whispers a little bit, kind of like into you a little bit.
Oh, well, you can tell like Laura immediately gets a little flustered. I mean, like Ben and I go way back. Just like about nature and that I work at a record thing. That's all.
I mean, listen, when I could get any straight answers out of Ben, it was mostly about the university, mostly about you guys, but he would go off on, like, I don't know what happened. He was like, dude looked like he was 80, kind of weird. I don't know.
Like, did he just like I unfortunately hadn't seen him in a while, but like, you know how some people just are in the sun a lot and they don't age great. Was it like that?
Yeah, maybe he was born in the sun.
Okay, Jesus. So you don't know like if he had cancer or like he got pneumonia or
Listen, during the summers I like to go into the city, go hang out and vacation. I basically I came back, Liam disappeared, shit went down. That's about it. Now if you want some more recent things, let me know. But and she kind of like looks over, and you can see like the game slowly starting to start. Do you want to ask anything, Marie?
What about Jack? He seemed into me.
She laughs and chokes on her coffee a little bit. I don't think I've seen that guy.
Wait, but Marie, the guy, is that the person you talked to at the town hall?
Yes, he put his foot in his mouth the first night we were here and was a total dick. But then the next time I talked to him, he's got like piles of cologne on, made an effort to, make sure I was okay. There was a vibe.
Nova like full on like oh sweetie smiles you a bit like yeah, we're all quite aware of his cologne. I don't think that was, I mean, if you want to believe it was, but I don't think I've seen him even blush at a person before. But he's been in this town well before I have. He used to be like a park ranger or something, real environmentalist type. I think that's how he had his accident. I think something about protests or something. I can't remember. Yeah.
And I'll like turn my head and just shake it off and watch the game.
She pulls out her phone and starts filming and taking pictures of the game.
When she takes out her phone, can I try and look what her passcode is?
Sure. Give me a spot hidden.
I have a 30 in that. Let's see. Oh, no. 65 versus 30.
She's got those gloves with the fingerprints or the fingertips that can use her phone, but they're kind of bulky and block it, so you don't get a good shot of it. Nate, starting lineup on the other team: Oliver, non-judgmental lady, other guy that you don't know. So who you're sending off?
I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with me because it's 3, including the goalie, right? On at a time.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper probably will not be swapping out.
Right. So I would like to start with myself and Dr. Sam, and the doc, because he's the most inspired, and I'd like for us to, go out there and do some work before I bring out OT.
All right.
And I would like to say that as I take to the ice, the only person who knows this probably is Andy. But to help himself keep rhythm, not just as he skates, but throughout as he plays, just keep a rhythm to his play, Nate has sort of a playlist of disco songs that he has basically memorized at this point. So as he's like goes out onto the ice, just imagine the opening guitar chords of "Gimme Gimme Gimme" by ABBA, so, like skating out there. Next up on the playlist is "Rasputin" by Boney M. That's number 2 on the playlist.
We're going to do almost modified combat for this. Also, I'm going to let our cat out because he is.
I can do it while you do this. It's fine.
All right. We're going to do modified combat. Now, the way that combat works is your dexterity determines your initiative. So Dr. Samuel's going to put the puck at center ice for the check. The thing started the game. I was going to say check off. I don't think that's the right word. Y'all, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's not basketball either, so it's not a tip off.
Yeah, the start of the game.
Face off?
Face off sounds about right. So it's going to be you and Oliver. What is your dexterity?
My dexterity is 65.
Wow. Oliver has 57. So
Yes.
we're going to initiate combat passively. So at the face-off, you are able to gain control of the puck and go ahead and describe me what your first few moves are.
Okay. So, first things first. I get the puck. I want to send a message early on to Oliver specifically and to the rest of the team. I would like to, as soon as I get the puck, show my superior mobility by basically pushing my left shoulder, like throwing my left shoulder into Oliver and using that to push off and spin to my left. Just do a spin move. So I knock him for one, and also send myself off towards the goal. And I would like to sort of keep not go so fast that I completely leave everybody in the dust, but I would like to keep Dr. Sam, the doc, within reach and do a little pass back and forth with him, and then completely out juke the rest of their players, and then just easy goal, and then hustle back to my side.
All right. I'm going to give you... Go ahead and use your dexterity for this. And now, one thing that we haven't used before is you can see at the end of the results, at the bottom of the results, it says bonus penalty. You can go ahead and click that when you roll and subtract whatever the number is from your result. And Oliver's going to go ahead and this is because you stretched and did so much practice and stuff. Oliver's going to go ahead and roll a dodge. So whoever gets the highest success will win.
Okay, so this is dexterity versus his dodge.
Yeah.
All right. So I rolled 97 versus 60. Well, no, I rolled 100 versus 65. He rolled a 97 versus 62. And I click
go
bonus
ahead and
penalty
click
now.
Yeah.
Bonus penalty is 0.
My guy.
Should I have changed that? I didn't know that existed.
No. You got 100, which means that you fumbled. And your bonus was 0, which means you did not get out of that fumble.
Can I use anything to push that? Any of my luck, maybe?
I don't believe you can luck your way out of a fumble.
All right.
Damn crit fails.
Yeah,
You hate to see
the
it.
story that this wanted to tell, really,
Yeah.
you can't escape a fumble spending luck, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I'm going to paint a picture here, and a few things are
boy.
going to happen.
I already don't like this picture.
The
Laura,
Blood Forest.
the Blood Forest. Laura and Marie. Nova is like basically not paying attention to you now and is trying to capture some sweet content moments of this hockey game. Each of you roll me a spot hidden.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I got a
Damn it.
41 versus 45 success.
I also got a 41 versus 30 failure.
Oh no. At least one of us got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This works out great, Laura, because you're up to date on your friends. Whether or not Nate posts frequently, you've probably gotten more insight into where he's at right now. And as the face-off starts, you see Nate, who is intimidating, up against this much younger man who is of similar build, and your gut almost drops as you recognize that something is wrong. The moment that Nate gets possession of the puck and slams into this man, you realize that Nate has reverted back to a time where his body was not prone to failing him. And immediately he spins, and you see the edge of his skate hook into the ice. And you see his leg snap as Nate tumbles sideways and collapses into the ice and sort of like skids for a bit. You see Oliver get possession of the puck and just like start playing. But you recognize that something wrong has happened. And Nova in the stands is like now zooming into Nate on the ground. And you can see Dr. Samuel like watch Oliver pass and like look over at Nate and immediately like takes off his gloves and throws them off and rushes up to you, Nate. You are immediately in a bunch of pain as your leg is like burning your right leg by the calf. Give me a first aid roll.
Okay. I have a 50 in this. Come on. Oh, 56 versus 50.
You could
You-
spend
Oh.
6.
You
Spend
could
6
spend
luck.
6.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 6 luck. To push that to a success.
The pain is horrendous, but with your years of experience, you recognize that something has broken.
Oh,
That this is a break.
No. I would like to immediately go, like, as much as I can, kind of into first aid mode, or tell. Maybe as Doc gets over, I sort of say through gritted teeth, something's broken. What are the lower bones?
Don't move. And he sort of shouts, "Everyone, we gotta stop. We got a problem here." Nova is like still focused filming this.
Do I notice that?
Yeah, she's like holding her arms forward, like trying to get a better shot. She like starts standing to try to get it over the boards.
Really think that's appropriate, and I'm gonna try and grab her phone from her.
Ooh. Give me a dexterity.
Bitch.
Oh.
Extreme success!
Oh!
3 versus 70.
You immediately grip that phone and yank it from her hand. And she looks at you like the most offended anyone has ever looked at you. Excuse you?
Exploiting someone's pain for your own profit?
He's gonna want to see this after. Give me that back.
I don't think people want to relive their worst traumas frame by frame.
Like you would fucking know. Give me my phone back.
I'm not gonna like steal her phone, so I'll give it back to her, but I'm gonna delete the video before I give it back to her.
All right. She just like huffs and like stares at you and welcome to town. And just grabs her stuff and like starts to walk down the steps.
Your coffee's trash, by the way.
Yeah, well, you're a
Marie.
bitch.
She was filming him.
I understand that, but and like Laura's been focused on Nate this entire time, so I imagine Marie reaching in front of me to grab the phone, but like I knew instinctively as it was happening that something was very wrong with Nate, so like my eyes were focused on that, and it snaps me out of it when this interaction happens in front of me, and you call Nova a bitch. And then, or no, wait. Yeah, wait.
No, Nova called
Nova
Maria
called
bitch.
Maria bitch.
Yeah.
And I think that just is so jarring. And I snap my head over to Nova. What'd you just say?
She stops. She was like walking down and she turns around and she says, "I said your friend's a bitch and washed up and hasn't made a good book in fucking years."
I'm gonna walk over to Nova. I hope that if anything ever happens to one of your friends, they don't film it and upload it to TikTok or something to you. something horrible, so that they can relive it over and over, and you can, and so can the entire world. This is just a friend caring about another friend. Doesn't make anybody washed up or a bitch. It's empathy. You should learn about it.
Give me an intimidate.
Okay. All right. Please don't fail me now, dice. Hard success, 13 versus 45.
You Nova.
You, she like is trying to retort for a bit. Whatever. And she just turns and walks away.
It's not that deep, Nova. And then I watch Nova leave, and then I immediately turn towards the rink and see what's happening with Nate.
I'm gonna have Dr. Samuel roll a first aid to see how well just the initial assessment and stabilization of this is.
Let's see. How good is Dr. Samuel?
He's not even a doctor, is he?
Ooh,
Oh,
36 out of 80. He's not even a
36
doctor.
against 80. He immediately
He's a
like
PhD.
he like pushes on your chest, Nate, to keep you still. And he says, "All right, I think the best we can do is leave your gear on. It'll keep it in place. But we got to get you out of here. Oliver, come help." And you see like Oliver comes over and takes off his helmet, and where you would expect like kind of like bro-y bravado, like, haha, we fucking beat you, old man, you see like a reflection of respect in his eyes, and almost feels like cheated that he didn't get to compete against you. The interactions that you had leading up to this seem to have really like affected him, but you're also in incredible pain, and both of them like try to like pick you up, and with their support, they're going to try to keep your leg as stable as possible and try to sort of like push you off of the ice. And from your perspective, Laura, it seems like Nate is relatively well taken care of right now.
Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, as I'm being carried off of the ice, I think I look at where I was lying, and I see, again, with sort of flashback mode, I see Andy standing on the ice in full gear, just looking at me in my memory with like, sort of in my imagination at this point, with like a mixture of pity and like disappointment. And more so than the pain in my leg, I think I just feel embarrassed, and I feel ashamed.
I did not expect the dice to go this way. I learned how to play hockey for this scene. But this
years
is
years of amateur hockey Kelly spent.
This is I am sad.
It is cool though.
He's going to you basically like like you've had like people that you've coached have injuries, and you are immediately aware that like they are trying to take as best care as possible, and their goal is to try to get you into Dr. Samuel's Jeep, so that he can take you to his office. Is there anything that you would like to do between the time that it takes for them to sort of stabilize you and assess you, or are you just gonna go with the flow?
The part of me that is present in this moment is doing my best to just facilitate what they're trying to do. The part of me that is not in this moment is trying not to cry. Not because of the pain outwardly, but like this is an emotional blow. This would hurt.
Marie and Laura, you see him get taken behind the home bench and into the dressing room again. What are you going to do?
First,
Marie-
is the money still here?
Yeah, she only took her bag.
I yank it. That's mine now.
That's
I give
the top
Laura
priority.
hers back. Let's go.
Why did you say the coffee was trash?
Because she called me a bitch.
I think it was the opposite. If I'm being honest with you.
Listen, it all happened so fast. She was acting like a bitch. I didn't like what she was doing.
Was she like? I was paying attention to Nate. Was she like filming it? Like filming it?
And zooming in.
That's weird.
It was weird.
I don't know, kids, younger people these days, they film everything. It's like they film everything before they help people sometimes.
And that's what I mean. Nobody needs to see that over and over again. He's probably upset enough as it is. And injured.
You can see now in front in the foyer, Nate being sort of like hobbled out the front door by Oliver and Dr. Samuel.
We should go.
Yes. Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I don't know.
I don't know. You shouldn't apologize for that. I wouldn't want that video out there either.
I didn't have to escalate it as much as I did.
Can I say I don't think she needed to escalate it as much as she did either. Are you okay? Like, she said some mean shit.
Yeah, water off a duck's back.
How do you deal with it?
Are you following? Quick question while you have this conversation.
Yeah, I think
towards Nate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine we're gathering our things up, like, and then starting to head down.
There's a
the door.
non-zero chance that they will leave without you, and you do not have a vehicle.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
we're hustling because I don't want to be left at this rink alone without a car.
Yeah.
With Marie.
By the time you get outside, you see that Dr. Sam has like completely put the front seat down and has like laid Nate so that his like back is up against the interior of the Jeep and his leg is like resting on the seat. And he sees you and he's like, you can try to pack yourselves in, but we got to get to my office pretty quick.
Yeah. And
You got it. I'm compact size. And I try and get as small as I can in there.
All right. And he hurries in, thanks Oliver, and you see almost like a crowd now of the audience had like forming just on the outside door, watching as Nate is taken away to the doctor's office.
Are you okay?
My leg's broken.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not sure which bone, but one or maybe both.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and see if I have anything stronger than an Advil. You know, women tend to keep miscellaneous pills every now and then.
Do you think that it's likely enough that you would to roll a luck?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, go ahead and roll a luck.
Well, today's my lucky day. 19 versus 60. Hard success.
Yeah, you've got some stuff probably like last time you had an injury just like left in your bag.
Or like Andy's pain meds.
Yeah, that's much more likely.
Yeah. I'll take out the bottle and show it to Dr. Samuel. Can I give him some of this? It's a bit old.
He's pretty big. I think he could probably take a couple.
Okay. And yeah, I'll give you like 2 pills.
I think as you're doing that, Nate's head is really, I mean, his body's being flooded with chemicals right now, just from like the emotions of what's happening, and also just the fact that his body has suffered a severe trauma. And I think in sort of like seeing you look in your purse, I instinctively reached under my clothes and pulled out the pad, pulled out Andy's pad. And as you're going to hand that to me, I hand you the pad and I say, it's here, I have it.
Thank you. Take these and I'll grab it from you. and give you the medicine.
And I, as I'm handing it to you, I say, tell Andy I'm sorry.
You got it.
And as the pain sort of continues to wash over you, the pills slowly taking effect, you feel a hand grip yours, Nate. And for a moment, it looks like the hand from your dream. And you look up, and sort of through blurred eyes, the shape of that man from your dream sort of corrects, and you see Dr. Samuel with one hand on the steering wheel, sort of like holding, like gripping your hand, looking over, trying to reassure you that it'll be okay.
I sort of like, oh, thanks, Henry. And then sort of in and out, like, and then I'm sorry, Doc, sorry.
He doesn't seem to reply and just sort of like gives you a shake and then goes back, puts his hand back on the wheel and keeps driving. Meanwhile, the time is once again 3:15. Carl, you were just leaving Riley's place.
I'm eating the granola bar my mom gave me.
And the wind is pretty bad. I don't know how used to like heavy wind Carl might be, but it's.
I don't know how windy it is compared to where we live in Canada. Is it like worse?
Doesn't get too windy here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then
it like hurts your
then
face
it's windy
a bit,
and it
but
hurts.
you can go against it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like eating it, maybe kind of hunched up a little bit. But you're on the street that Dr. Samuel had dropped you off on.
Eric loves
You know the way back to the main street. Where are you headed?
I'm walking to Tilly's, but I'm taking my time and like eating this granola bar and like looking around and observing and trying to, and like, honestly, Carl's just enjoying a nice walk.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take the scenic route back to Tilly's.
Yeah.
The residential area that you're walking through right now, there is a eclectic variation in the architecture. It's mostly like colonial grays and wood, but there's a few like outstanding like modern or like brutalist. It seems that like there was more of a variation and people got to kind of pick what they wanted.
Are the houses like really close to each other, or do they have like yards?
They have a decent size. There's varying decent sized lawn. Some people have like a large tree that sort of separates their house and kind of has more like a small wooded area as a backyard.
Do the houses look like they're upkept, or are there any that like stand out compared to the others?
Again, varying degrees. Nothing really compares to well, you didn't see Nova's, but there's like some people have like stuff in their lawn that is like snowed over. Some people have like gardens that look like they were well kept, but you can see the dying flowers that are now white. It just like, it seems very, again, like eclectic and varied. It doesn't seem that there's any sort of like unified standard for the.
There's no HOA here.
district.
Everyone kind of has their own, the flavor. Okay. Carl can respect that.
Yeah, and you see like occasionally people like walking on the other side of the street.
Carl will
sort of,
wave
like,
at them.
at you.
Yeah.
It's a nice change from walking in the city where people tend to like
I
look
think
away.
Carl likes that. It's like minus the cold wind blowing on their face.
Occasionally the wind will sort of like stop and you get that like backdraft of snow that like pushes you forward a little bit. You can see the silhouette of the mountains to your right. the Rocky Mountains just looming constantly over the town as you are heading towards the lake itself. You eventually make it to the main street. Tilly's to your left, and then the rest of Main Street to your right.
When I look down the rest of the main street to my right, does anything stand out? Does anything seem... Now that I'm seeing it in daylight, because I think previously I'd seen it at night, and then when we were driving in, and then I did go to the town hall, but it didn't seem like it was super far.
Yeah, you can see like some of that waterfront buildings that I had mentioned recently or mentioned previously. But it's like, give me a spot hidden to see how well you can catch between the wind.
35 out of 70, hard success.
You can kind
my
of
glasses
make out...
are protecting me from the wind, so
you're perfectly prepared. You can see kind of what looks more like resorty aesthetics, maybe more like gift shops and stuff. Off in the way distance, you can kind of make out some larger building. And then straight in front, you actually catch a glimpse for a moment through the buildings and through the trees of the island in the middle of the lake. And it's quite nice. You see almost like a chapel, like a small chapel, not village, but like a rectory and a few other buildings. And it seems like quite nice. More like Catholic aesthetic, and the surrounding area sort of seems more like agnostic and varied, and a bit of like the dock area. You start to see, like, again, if you had seen this place in more of a clear day, it was at some point a quite a nice like resort town. But unfortunately, through like economics and weather problems, has sort of degraded over time.
Stuff's just not being kept, upkept.
Either through neglect or inability to actually do so.
All right. How much time does Carl have before he needs to be picked up at Tilly's?
You were told that about 8 o'clock would be when the party would be, so you have 4.5 hours.
Okay. I think Carl's gonna start walking down towards the lake.
Okay. It is as you get closer, it becomes like almost idyllic. The trees collect this sort of like the thicker snow, and the ones that are protected by the larger trees, you can see are like decorated with this white snow. And as you start to get to like near the edge of the water, it is a stone beach. It's not sand, but it is a nice view of the lake itself, which even from this, just like a small glance, you can see hasn't completely frozen over yet. The island itself almost has a flat side that you can dock at and then walk up, and it sort of elevates up. So it's got a peak on the opposite side of where you are. And you can see on what is almost like a uvula sort of jutting out into the lake is a varying like docks with like a few rowboats and stuff that have been frozen over, and what looks almost like a larger like fishing building, as well as a few like almost like like a quay that people would go to for just water activities.
Okay. But there's no one out here. I'm just alone by myself.
Not by the water now.
Okay. When I was walking down to the lake, did I see any stores that were open, or?
Not where you are right now, but you do remember seeing more near Tilly's. There was a general store, as well as you saw like a post office. That's the word.
Did
sort
I
of like
see
the
the
essentials
police
of a
station?
town.
Because I know that they did say that they could get a hold of people some way there. Did I see a police station anywhere?
You did not, no.
Hmm. Okay. If I don't see anything that seems odd or out of place in the lake, I think Carl will stay there for a little bit and just kind of watch the lake for a little bit. And then go to the general store.
All right. Just a give me another spot hidden.
Okay. 16 out of
Wow.
70, another hard success. What?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
The audacity. If only you knew what was going on this very moment elsewhere in the town.
Uh-oh.
It's like again like windy, but you actually find a spot where the trees almost like block the wind from like the direction that it's blowing, and you can sort of settle down a little bit.
Okay.
And you see movement coming from the island. You see like the silhouette of someone passing past some of the windows, and even like comes outside and seems to like grab some firewood. It's like watching a ant move around at this distance, but you can see someone sort of like meandering around on the island.
Carl will wonder if this is the lady that Jack was talking about, but obviously he can't confirm that, but that's what Carl's assuming.
You see- you
And he'll
see a
just
name
watch.
tag with-
Yeah.
Um,
Does she have a name tag? No, Carl will just kind of watch from a distance and just kind of enjoy the view. And after a little bit of time, head to the general store. If that's the only shop he saw that was open. But if there's another store that's open, that may intrigue them more.
As you sort of finish your meditative moment and head back to the area of Tilly's, you can see there's a general store called Gordon's General Store that sort of seems to be like the main store here. The square itself has, it seems more dedicated to like Tilly's is here, general stores over here, and then we've sort of relegated the more like utilitarian things just off the beaten path a little bit. So there's the like post office, and like you see a shop, like one of those old like internet cafes that was probably for like people who didn't own printers and stuff like that to go do their internet things. That is currently
Ooh, is that
closed.
open?
No.
Oh,
Damn.
You
Damn.
figure that the need
Carl's
for
trying
it,
to find a way to get a hold of his boss to be like, bro, I'm not going to show up. Please don't fire me.
fair. But yeah, you can head into Gordon's if you wish.
Yeah. Carl will head
It
in.
is fairly quaint. You sort of like open the door, and it's like again this sort of like rustic resort style architecture. And as you walk through the door, you see almost like immediately to your left along the wall is like the grocer section. There's like a cooling area with like lettuce and stuff. And that's probably about it. You can see like candy racks and like a liquor display off in the far corner, but you can see the entirety of the shop as you enter.
Is there anyone in here?
There is there is a counter to your right, and you can see like an old, larger man, gray hair, and sort of like a wool, green and brown turtleneck sweater, just hanging out in a very high back or like a high chair, sitting behind the counter, just like reading.
What are they reading?
Just a fishing magazine.
Fishing magazine. Okay. hey man, I'm just, trying to, any clues I can get about this damn town.
Everyone here loves Marie's writing. The only books that exist are Marie's.
Honestly, if he was, I'm going to be a little creeped out. I'm glad he's reading a fishing book. It's at least something different. Everyone is shitting on your writing. Your
And
writing
as
was
you enter and
beautiful.
you hear the like ding above you, you see him like look up and he says, "Oh, hey there. You out for a stroll?"
Yeah. I'm looking for some things.
Well, you came to the right place. Feel free to walk around. My name's Gordon. If you're looking for anything in particular, let me know. I probably know where it is.
Thanks, Gordon. Carl.
Carl, nice to meet you. Sort of like waves at you.
Carl is gonna try to find things that you would bring to a party. Carl has never been to a party. Carl is just meandering about, looking around at what to bring.
There is plenty of various pop options. There's chips, there's candy. You find a cereal and canned goods section. There's the dairy section. There's also DVD racks. You notice specifically that there's like one stand sort of near the back of the store that is dedicated to like DVDs.
Are there is there a basket that I can put stuff in?
Yeah, near the entrance. There's like a little metal basket.
Carl will, after wandering about for a little bit, realizes they need something to put stuff in and goes back and grabs one of those baskets awkwardly and then just starts putting a random assortment of things into the bag. Like none of it quite makes sense. Carl's like, well, I don't know what people like. So Carl's just like a bag of chips, a thing of candy,
chips,
a bottle of random alcohol, a soda. It's getting heavy.
Yeah.
Carl doesn't really know what they're doing, and I just want it to be like a basket of weird shit that doesn't make sense together. If people can envision that.
Nice.
And when he gets to the DVDs, what are the options there?
It's varied. There's action. There's romance. There's some comedies. You got some
Is there
family
anything
ones.
witchy?
They do have. Crap, what's that movie called? The
Craft?
The Craft. They do have The Craft.
Okay, Carl will grab that.
Sometimes these places don't get updated a lot.
It's an old one.
All right. Yeah. It is like a rental. Like this place still rents DVDs.
Okay, this is like mini Blockbusters shit going down. Okay.
Yeah. For those kids who remember places that would let you take something and then you returned it later.
Rewind, be kind. Yeah. Carl will take that and put it in the basket and go up to the front.
There's also scratch tickets at the front, and the lottery is currently down because there's no reception to get the numbers.
I don't think Carl's interested in the lottery, but Carl will ask while they're scanning things or however they're doing it. Maybe they're typing it in. Do you have a working phone here?
It comes and goes. Probably wait until maybe the weather settles down a bit and try. Most places still have a landline, any of the main shops. I do have one, but it's not working right now. But if you've got a cell, I know that sometimes the reception does come back.
All right. And
32. No, there's alcohol. 48.50
Carl will
is the amount. That seems like a good amount for random crap.
Hand
and
it
alcohol.
over.
And it gives you change. And there is, as you said, this like just pleasant vibe to this place. Like outside of the dark inn where your mom and her friends are reliving their trauma. Like, the people here are just living, and this
Yeah.
dude is just sitting here reading a magazine, and like, it's very quiet and slow here.
I guess as Carl has like, is it like 2 bags or something, like grocery bag style bags? Is that?
Yeah, it's
When
plastic.
do I have to
or,
bring back
paper though? So
the DVD?
yeah, bring it back whenever.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he told me. Okay. Yeah. So I guess Carl's holding the 2 bags, and then, or is it all? Does it all fit in one bag? I don't know. I have a free hand?
one big paper bag.
Okay. He's holding the one big paper
Which
bag.
will immediately fall apart once you get into the snow.
No.
What is there to do? I have some time.
Kind of like looks off into the distance. He says, "Well, I'm waiting for the snow to thaw so I can get out there and fish again. But until then,
I think that's going to
you
be
got
a
your
while.
movie, you got your snacks, your kid your age, whatever you watch. I don't know what you kids do."
Right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, come back anytime.
And Carl will walk. I think Carl's just gonna walk back to Tilly's and just awkwardly sit in Tilly's and try not to like bother her in any way.
It's fair.
And we'll
the
buy
meantime-
something if Tilly does.
if she, I think you get the
Come to
vibe
my
that she's
table.
more like, she recognizes that you have nowhere else to go right now and doesn't want to engage with you. She still seems
She
upset.
hates us.
Yeah.
Um,
I can understand. My mom and her friends have been weird.
and as you hang out there, we will quickly go back. So the time now is 5:30 p.m. There has been enough time now that Dr. Samuel has applied a cast to your leg, has stripped you of the hockey gear, and you are now down to sort of the like Under Armour of your hockey gear. Oliver has left, and it is you, Marie, and Laura. His office itself, he has a modest hospital, if you could call that. There is sort of the waiting area in the front. It's a clinic. And he immediately leads you back to one of the operating rooms. Everything in this place seems to sort of double up as something else. But he does have the supplies to do casts, and probably more of the like things that happen locally. He's not about to take out your spleen, probably not going to do any transplants, but the bare minimum he's got. And what he does, he seems to do with proficiency. You see very similar actions that Tilly portrayed. This man does not dress well, does not shave often. Probably his house is a mess, but when he gets down to the medicine, he knows what he's doing. And you sort of sit now in a what equates as a trauma bed, Nate, with your leg fully cast and sort of drying, with Marie and Laura allowed to visit you.
I'd like. No, go ahead.
You first.
Oh, I think Nate is. I think he would say. He would just look at everyone and say, "Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. You didn't have to come, and Doc, you know, I appreciate your help. I would have been in a lot of trouble without you."
You didn't plan on this. That seemed like it was a freak accident. I saw it happen.
Bad luck.
Dr. Samuel is sort of like cleaning up stuff, and looks over and says, You're probably lucky that the only doctor in town is also the hockey player and the hockey captain.
First on the scene. No bystander effect for you.
Oh man, this sucks. I'm so sorry, Nate.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to play like my player days, and maybe if I'd have kept in shape like my player days, we wouldn't be here right now.
I mean, we're all old. It's hard.
Well, I mean, yeah, we
We're
kinda are.
old.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
you
old.
ladies look great. me and Nate over here, he kind of like rubs his stomach, and he's got like near dad bod, and he says, it gets harder.
You can't beat yourself up for this one hockey game you didn't know was going to happen today, Nate.
It's not just this. It's not just this one game, you know. If I'd have been prepared, if I'd have lived in a way that I could have been prepared, I don't know. I don't think I'm making any sense.
In the car, you mentioned to me to tell Andy that you're sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was that's his pad. And I point just in the general direction.
But
of, I
what are
guess,
you
your-
sorry about?
Well, nothing. You know, we had a bet. You know, that I just wanted to do my best for him because he couldn't be here.
He'd be here right now with you if he could be.
Mhm.
He doesn't think any less of you because of a freak accident. It could happen to anyone.
And Nate is thinking not only of like the imaginary Andy standing on the ice looking at him as he's being carried away, but also the moment when he thought that Doc Sam was Henry, and he's like, it's not just about the accident. It's like my whole life. Like I failed in my whole life. I don't know. I could have been. I mean, you saw me. I could have been. Could have been in the league. I could have gone pro. I could have been a different person. And you know, after what happened, I don't know if I meant to choose it, but at some point I made a choice, whether I realized it or not. And now I'm here.
Well, going pro isn't all it's cracked up to be. And you made a choice to change kids' lives. You affect so many people by being the best hockey coach they could ever have. You're so much more than a hockey coach. You're a life coach. I can't imagine how many kids come to you asking for advice. And you're just there as a shoulder to cry on, someone to listen. That's all people need. And he would be proud. He was proud.
You see Nate in the back of the room behind Laura and Marie. Dr. Samuel has like stopped, and he's sort of like hunched down with his hand on a counter with his back facing you, and you can see like him just sort of like shaking a bit.
Hey,
Uh,
are you okay, Doc?
Only Nate sees this. Sorry.
Oh, only Nate. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are
Um,
just facing away from him.
I think there's like my attention is kind of split for a moment. I turn and I meet Marie's eyes and I say, I sort of I muster a smile and I say, thanks, Marie. I appreciate it. Y'all right there, Doc?
You see him sort of like wipe his eye, and like turns around and looks at you, and you can see that his cheeks are red, and his eyes are kind of like swollen a bit, and he, yeah, he's just got some of the chemicals in my eye.
Oh. Well,
Listen,
I hear that's bad. I'm sorry. You got to keep that stuff out of your eyes. I mean, I know they tell us with the alcohol wipes, don't get it in your eyes. The hydrogen peroxide, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's good advice. So you should be fine. Take it easy. I'll get Jack to get you one of Zol's chairs. Probably kitted out with who knows what. Help you get around. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, if you have any crutches, maybe I could use those as well.
Yeah, I can get that. I'm just sorry about the game. For what it's worth, I don't think you failed anyone. It's hard getting close and then seeing that goal and not taking it.
Can I roll to anything to try and determine whether the doc is crying because he feels like a failure, or because there's something that I'm not picking up on beyond like him maybe relating to the story?
Give me a psychology.
Okay. We got ourselves an extreme success, a 9 versus 50.
I think more than anybody else in this room, Nate, you recognize the pain that he's feeling. He resonates on a deep level with your story. And he seems to be a man that had also made a choice that kept him from something greater. And you see that sort of weight that he carries and recognize it as something that you carry as well. And as he looks at you and he apologizes, you see the breadth of things that he is apologizing for beyond just the game.
I nod solemnly and give him, I think, as knowing a look as I can muster, and I say, "Thanks, Doc. I really appreciate it."
I'll give you guys space. I'll go try to find Jack. Just take it easy.
Thanks for all your help.
Before you go, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
We were talking with some people in the stands today, and Nova had mentioned that you helped take care of Ben towards the end.
Yeah.
I guess we've come here for some closure. I don't know what, but Liam never told me what happened to Ben. Can you tell me?
Well, I mean, as you probably know, he seemed to be pretty sick as a person. I tried to do tests. I took samples and sent it out, but it was some sort of degenerative disease or something hereditary. I'm not too sure. We could never really figure it out. We just learned how to take care of it for the most part, and he'd come down for all sorts of things. Transfusions. Sent him to Edmonton once in a while to do bone marrow. I don't know. He was probably like, he'd been like this for a while. But
Was he in pain?
oh yeah. Constantly. He yeah. He survived a few flus here and there. Always touch and go, but I don't know, this last one, it just seemed like whatever's left inside just hollowed out.
I'm assuming it won't be an open casket. I can't remember.
I did my best. I'm not an artist, but I did the well, I prepared him, and I got some of the local people to come by to do makeup, and people donated a few clothes to make him look nice, but could only do so much.
Do I believe what he's saying about never finding a diagnosis and only treating the symptoms?
Give me a psychology.
Oh, terrible.
Oh.
90 versus 40.
Yes, you do believe him.
All right.
Or at least he presents
Shitty.
believably.
Yeah.
He seems like it's tough to reminisce about this, especially in his current state of already having something else come up. But yeah, I would go up there and just try to make the last few days better.
Thank you for taking care of him.
If I'm being honest, I'm a little worried about Liam. If it was hereditary, I'd like once the roads clear up, I'd like to get him in for some tests as well.
Yeah, he's been staying up late, it seems like, and not taking care of himself at all.
He's been looking worse.
Is it hard being the doctor here, like the only one who takes care of all these people?
Normally, it's a few sprains here, some rashes from going out in the woods, breaks, and sort of like almost goes to tap your leg, Nate, and sort of like hesitates. Nothing like the city. But Ben came almost 2 decades ago and almost became a full-time job since then. I don't know what happened to him.
Glance over at Nate and Marie, just kind of meeting their eyes before looking back at the doctor. He's not here, is he?
No, he's up at his
Oh,
home.
yeah.
At least it's cold. I'd hate to be the guy that has to open that door if it was summer.
I don't mean to keep you. I just
No.
couldn't
fine.
really figure out what had happened, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was COVID. I thought maybe we finally saw a case, but it just seemed like the flu. Anyways, I'll get those crutches and then I'll go head out and try to find Jack. I gotta do some rounds just to check up on people. But if you need anything, Nate, feel free to stop by here. I can get someone to tell you where I live. I can make a house call. You're at Ollie's place.
No, yeah, Nova and Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I can stop by later and see how you're doing.
Nate, are you feeling strong enough to take a walk now? Would you rather rest a bit?
Those drugs are feeling good, Nate.
Yeah.
And I try to say it in a like, read the tone of my voice, Nate, as I ask the question.
I will be like, you know, I could wait here a little longer, you know, just to sort of gather myself. Like, sort of looking back at Marie, being like, "Is this what you wanted?" like, I could wait here longer.
Do you need us to lock up for you? I don't mind waiting with Nate just till he feels ready.
I'll be back with the chair.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And basically I'm hoping that he'll leave us alone so I can rifle through his files so I can see if I can learn anything about Liam or Ben.
This place is trusting. He will 100% leave 3 strangers alone in his office. He sort of like grips the end of the bed and looks at you, Nate, and sort of lingers a bit. And like you can see just this pain in his eyes.
I'd like to look at him and I'd like to say, I just want to say one more time, I really appreciate your help. And I hope, you know, when I see you again, I hope we can talk a little more and, you know, maybe get to know each other a little bit while I'm here.
He looks like he is almost fighting back a smile as like the sides of his cheeks sort of tighten. Yeah, I like that. You can tell me about the good old days.
It's a very painful smile. And I'm like,
He immediately regrets saying it and like sort of taps the end of your bed and sort of walks to a small supply closet and pulls out just the biggest crutches that he has available and sort of leans them up against the bed and sort of salutes and says his goodbyes as he heads out.
I give him a salute back.
Marie.
The second he leaves, I bolt up and start opening drawers.
Gods. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
Okay. I'm not very good at that. But I still make it 29 versus 30.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God, clutch.
He's got old ass drawers. They are like pretty easy to jimmy. And has records on all citizens of Lake Morana, including a beefy file on Benjamin Thorne.
Ah!
And with that, we're going to jump ahead a little bit as the others can figure out what they would like to do within the time. The date is Thursday, January 5th, 2023. The time is 8 p.m. Carl, you've sort of been hanging out at Tilly's.
Super awkwardly.
Like she brings you a milk. She kind of like, it's very tense. But luckily she is mostly distracted with other guests.
Carl will try not to be a nuisance of any kind. Like,
Yeah. I think it's less she recognizes that you aren't the culprit and is reluctantly taking care of you. But at about almost 8 precisely, you see a familiar raven-haired woman walk in with a deep maroon jacket, dark tights, and boots. And as soon as she walks in and sort of like shakes herself off a little bit and stomps her feet on the entrance, she like looks over at you.
Carl like will stand up, but then sit down, and then stand up, and then grab the bag, and then he's just standing there holding the bag.
She kind of like gestures like, one more.
Carl sits down and stands back up.
And like waves you over and like side eyes Tilly.
Cute.
Do you walk over?
Yeah.
And as you approach, she like smiles as she looks at the bag and she says, "Wow, you came prepared."
I didn't know what you guys liked, so I just got an assortment.
It's it's cute. We change of plans. We're gonna go to Walt's place, and we're gonna take care of Liam. We're gonna do
Okay. I
bit of a
kind of
healing
needed
ritual for
to
him.
go there anyway. Samuel was asking me to check up on him. So
Perfect.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Well, you get to meet the whole gang, and
I think Carl talked over her and didn't hear what she said.
she just sort of like smiles and nods, and she's like, "All right, let's get the fuck out of here then."
Okay. And Carl just awkwardly follow.
She like holds the door for you open.
He goes out the
Estranged.
door and starts walking, but realizes he doesn't know where he's going, and then stops and waits.
I hate that.
You also realize that as soon as you leave, you don't feel that wind.
Mhm.
There's almost like a calm. The snow sort of like is still drifting, and it is dark now. There's street lights that are illuminating the street, but the wind is like all but subsided.
This is similar to what happened last time when I went outside with Mara. Right.
Very similar. And Mara kind of like looks up and smiles and pulls her hood in closer, and she says, "All right, I'll lead the way."
Carl will smile back and follow.
Now, before we start, I gotta gauge how cool you are. You're not like weirded out by like spells and stuff, are you? You're not one of those doctors who doesn't like new age things, are you?
Carl thinks back to the great advice that he got from Nate. Be cool. Carl's like, yeah, I'm cool with spells. Carl has no idea about spells, does not believe that they are a thing, and thinks that Mara is pulling his leg.
Roll a fast talk for me.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I am not good at that. As you, what? A 3 out of 5. How? What? I think because Carl's just so awkward. He doesn't know. I was like, this is how. I think it's getting hidden in his awkwardness.
Oh my, the luck.
Nate
think you're
gets
gonna-
a win.
You're gonna
At least he
beat-
gets 1 win for
The
today.
dice are telling a story. They want this
You're
for
gonna
Carl.
beat Laura for luckiest dice for sure.
This is a wild episode.
I
How? I just
My
can't get over a
protege.
5 and getting success on that. I'm just.
wild. You immediately see her like sort of loosen up a bit, and she starts like walking backwards down the street, and it's almost like free spirited, like wandering with you. She sort of like chats with you about.
Carl's like very much looking at her. Like he's listening and focusing like very intently.
And every time that you walk under a streetlight, you almost get like a flash of her face and are reminded of like how beautiful she is, and her black hair sort of like billowing out of the side of her hood. And the way she carries herself is very like everybody else here has been like cozy and quiet, and she sort of seems to just like command the space as she walks around. and she leads you past the street that you had turned for going to Riley's place, and leads you to a smaller house. You would almost like think of it as like a guest house if this was a fancier, more affluent area, but it just seems to be more cozy. It's got like, again, sort of that like grayish exterior, but the plants around it have been grown almost like haphazardly. It doesn't seem like the exterior is well taken care of, and almost like nature has started to grow up the sides of everything. There's like vines and stuff. And she points at it and she says, "Well, this is Walt's. Little intimidating, I know. You're gonna do fine. You're cool. Walt and Riley are cool. Liam's unconscious, so you don't have to impress him. Plus, you
Right.
brought booze, so Riley's immediately going to like you. Do you need any prep? Any like social cues? Any?
Do
you know.
I need any of that?
I don't. Are you? I just like to be open that we're a little weird, and if you're coming in feeling awkward, I'm here to alleviate some of that. I can tell you a weird secret about each one of them.
Okay.
I didn't think I would have to. Walt.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, it'll help. It'll get you on the same level. Walt still watches cartoons, but not like Power Rangers and stuff, like the 5 a.m. kids cartoons that you would watch. Just if no one's around, he'll watch them. It's great. Riley, don't open her laptop is all I'm saying. Me, I can't swim. There, we're all humanized for you.
I'm weird too. It'll be okay, I think.
Cool. All right, let's go. And sort of leads you to the front door. As soon as she opens, it smells like a bachelor pad. There's almost like the scent of like unwashed cans of beer that have been sitting around for a while. There's like a stale sort of weed smell, but you also smell like the efforts to almost cover it up, like scented candles smells in the air and stuff like that. It's sort of dim inside, but you can hear what sounds like fighting game sound effects in the background. It immediately opens into the living room, and you can see a couch along the far wall, and Walt, who you had only seen from the back, sort of lounging in this very old-looking couch with a game controller in his hand. You now notice he has the blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, and the lower jaw sort of back a bit, which you would immediately recognize as like a birth, like he would have had that from birth. And wearing like an old band t-shirt and just like ratty jeans with his feet up on the coffee table, which you notice they aren't wearing shoes.
Is it the same band that Laura was super duper concerned about? Is he still wearing that same shirt?
The Owl Riot? No, it is
Okay.
a different t-shirt. And you see sitting next to him, Riley. And the last time you had seen her, she was very like button-up police officer, straight black hair down to her shoulders, like holding herself very straight-laced. But what you see now is almost a completely different person. She is wearing gray sweat like pants and hoodie that have like the RCMP logo on it. Her hair is sort of like pulled up in a tiny bun on the back of her head. She seems like super casual, leaning up against the couch, one hand on a game controller and one hand attempting to light a medium-sized purple bong. And they seem to be playing something. You kind of turn and you can see a flat screen TV bolted to the wall with a fighting game that you don't recognize. There is like rows of hard drives on shelves underneath the TV, as well as like a few DVDs, like basically every game console that you can imagine. Just like a tech dream. To your left, you can see sort of a small dining area with like a quaint table that's like seems barely used. All of the walls are covered with like video game and movie posters, and several of the like corners of the apartment have like milk crates, which appear to have like various like nerd paraphernalia. The entire place is just like, it's cozy because there is barely any exposed wall in here. And as you enter, Riley and Walt sort of like wave you down and say, Riley sort of says like, "Oh, hey, it's the weird kid from the meeting. What's up?"
Carl smiles and waves. Yep. Weird kid. Name's Carl.
Carl. Riley. Sheriff Riley. But if you call me that, I'd puke. So just call me Riley. This is
Riley.
Walt. And Walt sort of like waves and smiles at you. He doesn't talk much, but you'll get used to it. Take a seat. You want a drink? We got shit in the fridge. Leave your... Oh, you brought... Do you have any chips?
Yeah. And Carl will pull out some chips.
Walt like grabs them and they both like hurriedly open the bag and almost like hyenas start digging into it. And Mara just kind of like sighs and takes off her jacket.
Carl just kind of like watches them a little curiously, and seeing Mara take off her jacket, will take off his.
And she like kicks off her boots and stuff, and she'll grab the bag from you and bring it. You can see there's like a small kitchen adjacent to the dining area, which is like a quaint fridge with like magnets all over it and stuff. And starts like taking out all of the stuff that you brought. Make yourself comfortable. We can do... She like looks at her watch. I'm guessing you don't want to wait until 3 to take care of Liam.
Yeah, I should probably look at Liam quick and then.
Oh, you want to? Oh, sure, yeah. I meant like, but yeah, go back. And she kind of like turns and points down hallway, and you can see that it like sort of juts back into the back of the building, and it gets dark down the hallway. First door on the right. Do you want a drink? I can get... I bought milk and juice for you.
Sure. I'll have a milk.
Milk? All right. We'll check them out, do your hospital stuff, and then I'll get everything ready. It's a waxing moon, so waiting till 3 doesn't fucking matter.
Okay. Carl tries to act like he understands what any of that means, but doesn't, and turns back to look down the hallway and realizing that he's gonna go down this hallway by himself, and will walk towards the room.
All right. As you approach, the sounds of video game and chip eating sort of muffle a little bit, and you open the door, and immediately you see sort of in the center of the room is a futon that's been sort of pulled out, and you can see a kind of huddled mass in blankets just lying on it. The room itself is like layered with milk crates of XLR cables and interfaces and mics and cameras and all sorts of tech. The walls are plastered with band posters, just overlapping each other. And there's like tea lights placed around the room, creating light.
Carl kind of takes this all in for a moment and stands in the doorway, and then takes a step in and walks towards Liam and says, Liam, are you awake?
You just hear labored breathing. And as you get closer, you also notice that there is a metal stand with fluids hanging from it. And the fluid cord going into his arm.
Carl will kind of check it and see what it is, what the fluid is within it.
Just seems to be like standard electrolytes, trying to rehydrate him and get his shit back in check.
Okay, so nothing suspicious. And Carl will take a look at him, see if there's anything out of the ordinary.
Give me a medical check.
Medicine?
Yeah.
Ooh, not good. 93 out of 41. Failure.
Beyond checking vitals and sort of just doing like a quick examination, he seems dehydrated, exhausted, and just generally run down. You can't tell anything beyond that.
I think Carl just kind of stands there looking at him and says, well, you probably need some rest anyway.
Just more labored breathing.
And Carl will just like put their hand on their shoulder where he thinks their shoulder is.
You feel almost like a tense when you do that. But then sort of like calms a little bit. He seems to be relatively unresponsive.
Is the tenseness, does it seem like reactive? Like, or does it seem like maybe they're hurt?
It seems reactive to your touch.
Not that they're hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Carl will let go. And just kind of stands there for a little bit and listens to their breathing to see if there's anything abnormal with that.
Again, just based on your tests, seems, again, just tired. And you hear a voice behind you. He's been mostly out of it all day. Dr. Sam came by and hooked him up with that. Riley knows how to administer more if he needs it, but he seems to be pretty good so far.
Yeah, he seems dehydrated, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think he needs more sleep. I don't think he's been taking good care of himself.
I know. He used to be part of the Coven, but he left a while ago, so we've been doing small rituals for him here and there, but I don't know, something's wrong now.
Why did he leave?
Dad.
Oh, right. To take care of him.
Yeah.
Why have you been doing small rituals for him?
Just because he's out of the Coven doesn't mean we don't care about him.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna have a smoke real quick. Maybe hang out with Walt and Riley a bit. I'll get in sync and then we can start.
Okay. Carl will take the milk and follow and walk out into the living room space.
And as you get out, she sort of looks at the group and she says, all right, nerds, I'm gonna go grab a smoke. Do not scare Carl away. He might be the only cool person that's visited our town in 100 years. And sort of grabs her jacket and walks outside. And Riley looks over, still just like chip in hand. So what do you think?
About
I don't know. Town, us, the town hall meeting. How'd I do? Did I look professional?
town is actually really nice. I had a walk and kind of looked out at the lake, and it was nice. A lot different than living in the city, I guess. You did good. Yeah, very professional.
She like exhales and smoke comes out. Thanks. You hear that, Walt? I'm a goddamn professional, and like smacks him on the side of the arm, and he looks over and like shakes his head and looks at you and keeps shaking his head.
I was actually wondering where the police station was. I was going to try to find it today to see if I could call my work.
It's near the hockey rink. Just past that a bit. Can't use your phone?
It's not really working very well.
Right. I mean, you're not supposed to. Fucking Novak's gonna jump on you if you try to use the radio, but we've been in touch with Grand Cache. It's been kind of tough to get a signal out, but last I heard, they're doing fine.
That's good, I guess.
Do you want me to
I'm
message?
just hoping I can get
I
back to a job after this.
Why, you don't like your chill, quiet town vacation?
Well, I do, but I mean, I won't be able to be here forever.
That's what I said. That's what Walt said too.
How did you guys get here?
Well, Walt, he went to BCIT, tech genius, learned everything that you could do with anything that's plugged in.
That's cool.
Yeah. Turns out you can make a lot more money.
I have
What?
something for you, Walt, if you don't mind. I mean, or if you're not interested, that's fine. It's for one of my mom's friends.
Walt reaches out a hand and just does this and like smiles.
Carl will sift through and pull out of his coat pocket the mangled phone that Laura had.
Just wide-eyed, grabs it and then like pulls the two parts apart and looks at it, and you can almost see the gears start like clicking in his head of like a new project, and then just completely ignores the two of you as he's like inspecting it and like lifting up some of the things. And Riley looks over and says, "Wow, you brought him a job."
Sorry.
No, he's gonna be busy until he fixes that thing or makes you a new one.
Either way, I think Laura would be happy.
You can see her like check her words. Inquisitive one in the town hall, right?
I feel like all my mom and her friends were very inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I think they're a little overwhelmed.
I get it. They didn't get their way immediately, and they're dealing with shit going down for once.
Yeah. I think when you
this
live...
weather's not normal. It wasn't like this 30 years ago.
What happened?
I mean, I don't know how old your parents are, but, their generation pretty much fucked us.
What do you think they did?
Capitalism, pollution.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyways, not to be a bummer. You didn't come here to hear me complain conspiracy theory shit. You came here because you're in tomorrow, aren't you?
Carl will try to keep it cool and be mysterious.
Give me
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
you will. I'll give you. Give me a. Okay, I'll do fast talk again or persuasion, because you guys have been talking for a while.
Okay. Not good at that either, so we'll see. 16 out of 10. That was close, though.
Mhm. You could spend luck to make it a success if you want.
That's true. If you want to be really mysterious.
I think. Sure. How do I, what do I do with my luck? Do I just edit and lower it?
Remove 6 luck,
Okay.
and then you'll just succeed. And she kind of, as you're playing it cool, she like looks at you, and you can see her eyes narrow, staring at you. All right, I guess I was wrong. Well, if there's anything you want to know about her that she wasn't going to tell you, she smokes for a while.
Cool, I guess. Is that important?
You don't want gossip? Everyone here fucking wants gossip. There's nothing else to do.
What's there to gossip about? I feel like there's not a ton going on. I heard there's a hockey game.
Yeah, there's a hockey game. If you've never been in a small town, everyone's got shit going down, but if you know how to figure it out.
I haven't kind of lived in the same place for a long time.
Well, if you ever want to know, Cop's the one to ask. Fuck Elias. He doesn't know what's going on. Old ass doesn't.
Elias? Who's Elias?
My boss.
Right.
And Mara's dad.
What does he say that you don't agree with?
He's just. You know that dog from that cartoon? She like smacks Walt's shoulder. The dog with the cop dog. The freaking. Anyways, he's like a dog. He's got one motivation, focuses on it, and he's like a old cop man dog.
Like treats?
I mean, he does eat, yes.
Right. Is that bad? I mean, isn't it good for like a cop to focus on something and then move on to the next thing?
No, it's good for a cop to care and not just do what's by the book.
Right, I got you.
For instance, this is the only night I don't have to work graveyards. I'm in charge of doing patrols after this night. Why do you think I'm here?
I was wondering, not to be rude.
Why a cop would be smoking weed and playing Mortal Kombat with her friends?
The Mortal Kombat with your friends, not so much, but yeah, the other part.
Because I gotta do a front. Everyone in this town expects the cops to be something. And I gotta be that, and then I get to do whatever I want when I'm not wearing that uniform.
What if people see you doing other stuff?
They don't give a shit about us. Ask anyone. They don't know what we're doing.
Right.
And you hear the front door open again. And Mara walks in and says, "All right, everyone put your pants back on."
Carl instinctively like looks down and then looks back over at her.
All right, is everyone ready? Carl, are you thoroughly scared by all of my friends now?
Sure, if that's what you want me to be.
It's a joke. They're
Okay.
chill. Walt, put whatever that is down. We're gonna go heal our other friend. And you see Walt like looks up and like almost like a hyena like goes back to fiddling with the phone that he's like now set up on his lap and has like pulled out one like almost like a lock picking tool set of small devices and like reluctantly
I think we're like following her, right?
Yeah.
As we're following her, I think Carl's going to ask a follow-up question to Riley if possible.
All right.
Why are you going to be doing patrols after tonight?
People get weird when they get isolated. It's not like people leave the town, but when they're told they can't, people get weird.
Has that happened before?
What year is it?
Right.
Just look out for yourself. Well, look out for yourself. But if you see people in trouble, look out for them.
Of course.
They might get weird.
I'll look out for everybody, Carl says, and then continues to follow Mara.
Walt's like has like rolled everything back up, but is still fiddling with the phone. And Mara like stops in front of the door, and out of her pocket pulls a leather pouch that's sort of like drawn with string. You're not allergic to peppermint, periwinkle, or Bella Bear leaves, are you?
Not that I know of. Is that what's in the bag?
Yeah. It's
Right.
She kind of like looks at you and cocks her head a little bit. I know this might be weird, and I know you're a medical healer, but it's for us.
Okay.
All right. And she opens the door. And as she comes in, she sort of like directs people around the bed and sort of points at Walt, who seems to grab like an XLR cable from one of the milk crates and unspools it and starts laying it out in a circle around all of you. And Mara produces a very small, what almost looks like a bowl from like a mortar and pestle. Now, make sure you stay in this circle. It'll protect us if anything goes down. If you start freaking out, let me know.
Are you expecting something to go down? Like what would go down?
You know, people will be saying a prayer. There'll be smoke. If you get overwhelmed at any point, let us know. We'll open the circle. We'll let you out. It's just, I don't know. People judge us for this shit, but we believe in it.
Okay.
Lighter. And you see Riley produce a like butane torch lighter, a very expensive looking one, and sort of hands it to Mara, who dumps the everything that's in the bag out into the bowl, and sort of like begins to light it, and looks over at you. Question: how invested is Carl going to be in this?
I think Carl doesn't believe any of this stuff works. Like if they're doing some kind of ritual spell, like Carl doesn't believe it, but Carl will do what is asked of him to be cool in front of Mara.
Taking Nate's advice.
All right. I'll ask again once we get started. And as she lights it, the smoke starts to fill the room, and she sort of like wafts it towards Liam. And you can see the others seem pretty casual. Like Riley's got her hands in her hoodie pockets, and Walt's just sort of like staring around the room, basically. Like it seems almost as if they've done this so many times that it's normal to them. And Morrow looks over at you and says, if you want, you can repeat after me. Up to you. And looks
Okay.
over at Liam and says, with this spell I have, with these herbs 3, I set Liam Thorne's mind to be free. And sort of looks over at you.
Does everyone else repeat those words?
Yeah, it's sort of staggered, but they chant together.
All right. Carl will awkwardly say the same thing.
With this spell I have,
With the spell I have,
with these herbs 3,
with these herbs 3,
I set Benjamin Thorne's mind to be free.
I set Benjamin Thorne's mind to be free. Carl's weirded out by this because this is Liam and we are talking about Benjamin.
Why'd you say Benjamin? Liam Thorne.
That's what you said.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Let me know. With this spell I have,
With this spell I have,
with these herbs 3,
with these herbs 3,
how invested is Carl getting into this?
I mean, he's gonna keep repeating the things, but he's weirded out. And the fact that she said Benjamin, but said that she didn't, is very confusing to Carl.
Is Carl putting his whole self into this spell?
I don't know what you're implying by whole self, but Carl will repeat the words for show.
Give me a power roll then.
God. Okay. Power roll. Okay. I got a 60 in this. Nope. 81 out of 60, and I can't save myself out of that.
Oh boy.
I'm so scared.
As you go to say the final word, your mind sort of like stumbles for a bit, and you almost get that feeling of like about to faint. And you
feeling
feel
kinda
Mara's hand.
dizzy.
Are you okay? Do you need us to stop?
I don't know, I'm just feeling a little dizzy.
And you sort of stumble a bit more, and you look over. Walt, Riley, and Mara all seem very concerned for you, and in the bed is a withered corpse.
Carl, like, blink. Do you see that?
Carl, you don't faint. Carl, no! And you feel your body hit the floor. Walt, open the circle. Walt! And your vision sort of like wobbles for a moment. And you find yourself light or weightless lying on this floor. And you see a hand reach over the side of the bed and pull. And as Walt and Riley and Mara are sort of scattering, and you see Walt opening up the circle, you see a face looking over the edge of the bed to you. But it's your father's.
Dad?
Scarlet. Your mom. She shouldn't have brought you here.
Why?
It's not safe.
I don't understand.
You have to. And you see Walt opening the circle,
Dad?
and your vision fades. And when your eyes open next, you're looking at a ceiling, and you feel a cold sensation on your forehead as you hear Mara's voice. They're waking up. Carl, are you okay?
Carl like moves whatever the cold thing is on his head. Is it a hand or is it?
It's like a towel, like a wet towel.
He pushes it off his head and like sits up and is like, "Dad," and kind of like shouts it
You're okay. You're
at
okay.
where Liam is laying in the bed. I'm guessing.
You're out in the living room now.
Oh, okay. That's a whole shocker. I think he just shouts like forward, like looking out.
Hey. There's no one here. It's just
What
us.
happened?
I don't. You might have been allergic to one of the herbs or something. You went out.
I mean, if I was allergic,
okay?
I would have an allergic reaction. I don't. How did I get out here?
You passed out. We had to bring you out here.
Carl will just get up and run, like, kind of run towards where Liam's room is and open the door.
You like stumble a bit as you get up, and as you like, instead of run, it's basically like holding yourself up on the wall,
Yeah.
going down the hallway. And you look as you open the room. It's Liam sitting there. He's now on his back, sort of like leaning up against the wall, awake.
Liam?
Oh, hey. Carl?
Carl's like looking around the room now, holding themselves up in the doorframe, and just looks a little probably strange, like he's seen a ghost, and is like looking around Liam as if like Liam isn't there and something else must be there.
It just seems to be the room. And Mara kind of comes up to you and says, we finished the ritual once you passed out. You were out for a bit.
What is this ritual?
Liam's mind was not right.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You can only do so much for the body, but I don't know. Liam was just sick.
What is that, Liam? What does that mean? And Carl's like not listening to Mara now, and like kind of like looking at Liam, like demanding that Liam answer.
He seems almost as confused as you, and looks up and says, I don't know, but I really gotta get up to my dad's place.
Why?
Something's not right.
Yeah, I agree. Something's not right. He kind of just like looks around at both Mara and Liam, and Carl looks utterly confused.
Mara kind of looks at you and says, listen, if you need to head back, that's fine, but you're fine to crash here. I'm sorry, I didn't know you'd react that way.
I don't know either. Yeah, I think I should go.
She looks like not hurt, but like sad. I understand. Do you... Yeah. Riley can walk you back.
Carl will. Can you give us a moment? Carl says to Mara.
Sure. Sort of like walks away.
And Carl will close the door. and walk over to Liam. He's just gonna like get a closer look at Liam and then something's weird, right?
Yeah. I should have told you.
Told me what?
I recognized you all, not because of social media or whatever. I've seen painting
Painting.
of all of you. Well, of the others and your dad.
Where?
At my dad's.
Right. What was the painting of?
All of them. A lot of them.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know, but something's wrong. And I didn't want him to be up there this long, and I need to get back. And he starts to like get up and like pulls down the bar.
Wait, I think you need to be careful. I can go with you, just maybe not right now. Maybe tomorrow.
Kind of like settles back and like seems faint, already exerting too much. Yeah.
You need to
try
rest, though.
Yeah.
Are you?
Who's? Andy's your dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? You knew that.
Yeah. He looks so much like him. I thought I saw him again.
I think Carl leans in a little closer and like tries to whisper, so in case someone is like listening on the other side of the door, they can't hear. Did you see my dad?
He like looks at you and seems startled. I think so.
I think I did too.
We gotta get up the mountain. Tomorrow, right?
Get rest. Yeah, tomorrow. Carl wants to ask him more questions, but knows that he's not in a good state to do so. And then he will walk out of the room.
And as you do, you can see the other three sort of like standing at the end of the hall, just sort of like concerned and like rubbing their arms and leaning up against the wall and stuff, and almost like all look fairly apologetic.
Sorry.
Mara sort of steps forward. No, don't worry. Just take all the time you need.
Thanks for the invite. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe we could hang again.
Yeah, maybe. Carl tries to kind of like force a smile and then grabs their coat, and you can keep the snacks. Oh, and if you fix Laura's phone, just let me know.
Walt, like, upon hearing that, like, jumps and hurries back to where he had left it. And Mara, give me a psychology real quick.
Sure. 3 out of 65. Extreme success. What? I'm very
twice you got
attentive
3.
to her.
She seems devastated that she looks like she has just destroyed a potential friendship and is horrified and doesn't know what to say in this moment.
Carl, realizing that, will kind of finish grabbing their coat and kind of walk over to her and just say, "Thank you for the invite. It made me feel more welcome here. I was definitely feeling a little out of place."
Maybe
And
we'll play
yeah, I would
cards next time.
definitely like to hang out again sometime.
Cool.
I'm just
Well, if the
not
storm
feeling
keeps
good.
us- Yeah. Walk it off. Fresh air should help. Clear you out.
Yeah. Carl will go in for a hug if she will reciprocate. It's gonna be awkward.
It's really awkward. She wasn't expecting it, and also feels like almost treating you with like you're a injured bird at this point, like not wanting to make any sudden movements or anything to scare you. And it's a very awkward and quick hug. And Riley gives you a normal, regular hug.
Okay.
To break the awkward tension, and then sort of like grabs your stuff and directs you out. Walt does not pay attention to you leaving.
And Carl leaves.
As you step out back into the storm, the wind now picking up again. That's where we'll end for tonight.
Woo!
Oh,
All right.
heavens.
Well,
Suspect.
oh my God. All right. Time
The
for
creeps were
wrapping
out
up.
in force tonight.
The spookies.
Yes.
We got a lot of really interesting intel today that we're gonna have to follow up on. But thank you all for watching. We hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, there are some ways that you can support us. But of course, first and foremost, we would like to thank our sponsor today, Roll20. Thank you for sponsoring today's episode. You can check out all of the Roll20.net goodness on their site. They have all kinds of character sheets. You can make custom character sheets for any games that you're playing. You can do board games of all kinds, cards, dice, whatever it may be. It is super duper handy, especially in times where maybe you don't have friends as close. Having a virtual space to play is very, very nice. Like all of us right now. It's so nice. And of course, we have merch. You can check it out at designbyhumans.com/shop/roll4it and check out all of the goodies that we have over there. And if you would like a Chip Cult shirt, let us know. Remember, comment Chip Cult everywhere, and we'll consider it. And we have an announcement, as we noted earlier in the episode. We are going to have a one-shot of Capers Cyberpunk. It is a new game brought by Nerd Burger Craig, which you can find over on their Kickstarter. Do ! Kickstarter in our channel, and you can get all the deets. And clicking that link supports Roll4It, so please do so and be a part of the Kickstarter so that you can get some cool rewards. And we are going to be playing a game or a one-shot called A Message from Dave. What could the message be? Honestly, we have a theme here. Like, we've got Liam calling us, now Dave is calling us. I don't know what to expect. But join us Sunday, October 1st, 7 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. CT, 10 a.m. ET at twitch.tv/roll4it, where we will be playing some super-powered cyberpunks that are supposed to be taking down corrupt megacorp, but looking at our characters, I don't know if we're the bad guys or if we're the good guys. You'll have to tune in to find out. And of course, Joining me, Play Katie Play, and Jimmy Cobb will also be Miss Magitech and Nerdburger Craig. So we would love for you all to come and join us. And of course, we would like to thank our supporter today, Thunder Cabbage. Thank you so much, Thunder Cabbage, for supporting today's episode. And if you would like to become a supporter like Thunder Cabbage, you can head on over to our Patreon and become a legend tier or above. And not only do you get to support an episode, you also get to play in a privately GM'd game. This month, I am GMing a game that will affect the live session of our Halloween RPG, which is going to be super duper fun. And we also have all kinds of other goodies over upon there, like our character sheets and whatnot. You can also support us right here on Twitch if you're watching us live, or even if you're not watching us live, you can head on over to Twitch and subscribe. And that gives you access to VODs in advance as well as emotes. And you can also subscribe to us using your Amazon Prime if you haven't already used that for somebody else for a Prime sub. Otherwise, the money just goes to Jeff Bezos. So you decide what you like to do. You can also become a YouTube member over on YouTube and get access to some of those emotes. And whether you're a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon supporter, you can get access to our private Discord where you can chat with us about all of the things. I'm certain there's going to be lots of clue hunting that people will be. I'm curious what you all think about the clues. Which items are clues and which aren't? Because as we've seen, sometimes we've tried to look into things and we don't find clues in places where we think they are. And of course, there's lots of non-monetary ways to support us, like watching us live here on Twitch, making clips. Thank you for all the clips. We appreciate it. Watching on YouTube, subscribing, liking, commenting, following us over on X and Facebook, and liking, sharing, resharing, and all of that stuff, and commenting on all of those things. They do help us and help the algorithm find us in order for us to let more people see all of the wonderful stories we tell so that we can continue to tell more. And with that, we're going to do a little round robin so people can say where you can find them at, because not only are they here doing wonderful things on Roll4It, they also do lots of other stuff in other spaces in the internets. Today, we're going to kick it off with the Mind Right. Kelly, where can people find you at when you are not traumatizing people with their dads?
That's a loaded question. You can find me on Tabletop Titties. I am the storyteller for our Titties by Night, Vampire the Masquerade, London Investigators game, and as well, I am a player on our D&D game as well. And you can listen to Drinking and Screaming, which is Shar and I's queer and feminist cocktail and horror movie review podcast. Traumatizing people with... Yeah, traumatizing people with their dads. I'm sure I did that at some point in one of those episodes. And you can go to my link tree at linktr.ee/themindright. That's linktr.ee/themindright, because I'm tired of juggling social media things, so I put them all there. Because the world is full of chaos, so it's nice to have order.
I agree with that. It is hard. There's too many social platforms, and they keep making more, like this Sky Blue thing. I don't know.
Blue Sky got mastered.
Or Blue Sky.
Co-host. The Insta, the Ticks, the Talks.
The Ticks. All right. And then next up, we've got Marie Wilson, played by Shar. Where can people find you at when you are not dissing people, throwing it down about their coffee?
People. You can find me at Charlene Bear on all social media. And the only thing I want to plug right now is October 13th to 15th over on Tabletop Titties channel. We will be doing a marathon fundraiser for Salal Sexual Violence Support Center, where all the beautiful folks on screen here will be participating and raising some good money to support survivors of sexualized violence. It'll be a horrifyingly good time, so make sure you check that out.
So if you like spoopies, there's more. And next we've got Jeremy Cobb, who plays Nate. Where can people find you at when you are not breaking a leg?
Well, depending on the way you mean breaking a leg, basically most of the places you can find me, I'd be breaking some kind of leg. You can find me on the show Three Black Halflings. This is TTRPG/nerd podcast. Also, The Quantum Reactor, a sci-fi movie review podcast. that I co-host. You can find both of those wherever pods are cast. You can find me. I've just forgotten most of my plugs. You can find me at D3 at Sea. I don't know if there are any seats open to play with me, but hey, if you got some time at the end of October, beginning of November, you want to hop on a cruise ship and play some D&D and some time travel TTRPGs with me, do that. Go to d3ac.com and sign up to play with me. It's gonna be great. And I think those are. Oh yes, and I stream on here. Stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. All sorts of different games. Fallout New Vegas, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Baldur's Gate 3. Right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/casualquestlive. So come check us out. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Yeah.
And last but not least, we've got Laura Play by Play, Katie Play. Where can people find you at when you are not backing up your friends?
Bringing out the
Fisticuffs?
punches. I don't know.
It was more like words of cuffs.
Yeah,
you,
words
you
of
didn't
cuffs.
fisticuffs.
I brought those out.
I feel like you could have, though.
Yeah, I don't think Laura wants to punch anybody, but the show's not over yet. I'm Katie Peters Plays. You can find me on Twitch at Katie Peters Plays. All my links for all my socials are over there. It's probably easier to do that than for me to list them for you. So I understand the link tree thing. And you can get over to my Twitch page at katiepetersplays.tv. I'm on another tabletop show right now called Duacroma Outlook. It's about the alien xenomorphs in the alien universe. So go check that out. There's only 2 episodes left and they're really good. So get your spookies on and go watch that and keep that spooky train going from this show to that one. That's over on the Wandering Inn. That seems like an important detail. I also have 2 podcasts. Katie hasn't seen that, Quantum Drive. I'm getting ready for all spooky games for October on my Twitch channel, so come hang out and watch me get scared while I play that and Baldur's Gate 3, because that makes sense to me. And that's me.
Perfect. And I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do lots of things on the internet, and if you would like to see those things, just follow me. I will let you know whenever I am live with those things. And of course, I make games and video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. And with that, we're going to go record an after show because we have lots of things to say to each other. And if you would like to see that, you can head on over to our Patreon and, support us. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, I got to find the end.